Welcome, everybody, to the City Council regular session of April 6, 2026. There's a lot of faces in the room. We're happy to see you here. But I would like to just say, please no outbursts during the meeting. During public comment, please keep your comments to yourself unless you are at the podium. But we will go ahead and get started. And if I could ask you to stand for the pledge and invocation with me. Please bow your heads. Lord Heavenly Father, please give us the wisdom to guide this organization to best serve the people, present and in the future of Lake City. Cast a net of safety, opportunity, and vision here in our community, and help us to serve those who need us most. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Welcome, everybody, again. Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Jernigan.
Present.
Councilmember Harris.
Present.
Councilmember Young.
Here.
Councilmember Carter.
Present.
Mayor Walker.
Here.
City Manager Rosenthal.
Here.
City Attorney Martin.
Here.
Chief Butler.
All right. Real quick reminder as we get started, too. If you are interested in speaking at the podium, please make sure that you fill out a card at the back of the room and give it to one of our police officers on the side. And ladies and gentlemen, the Lake City Council has opened its meeting, and since 1968, the City Code has prohibited any person from making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks or becoming boisterous while addressing the City Council. Yelling or making audible comments from the audience constitutes boisterous conduct. Such conduct will not be tolerated. There is only one approved manner of addressing the City Council, and that's to be recognized and then to speak from the podium. Failure to abide by the rules of decorum will result in removal from the meeting. And now we will move on to approval of the agenda.
So approved, Mayor. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you both. Do we have any further comments? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? Agenda is approved. And now we will move straight into our presentation of the 250th project. Students from Columbia County School System and Miss Lisa Lee. Miss Lisa?
Good evening. Welcome to April meeting. Tonight I have another speaker on the Elks Americanism essay. Their topic is, what does service to your country mean to you? And tonight I have Kennelly Vernon from Eastside. She is a 5th grade student and she won 3rd place in the 5th to 6th grade category of this essay contest. And we're going to have her come up and read her essay. That was a winning essay. Kennelly?
On July 4th, 2026, the United States will celebrate its 250th birthday. This milestone is not only a testament to our nation's enduring legacy, but also a moment to recognize this great responsibility carried by our veterans, those who have served and those who continue to serve our country. As we reflect on our history, it becomes clear that the freedom we enjoy today is due to the dedication and sacrifice of men and women in the military. This courage and willingness to protect our country have ensured that the beliefs of liberty and freedom remain a reality for all Americans. Many families, including myself, have a proud tradition of military service. My father served in the Army as a sergeant for 8 years. And both of my great-grandfathers served in the Army and Navy. My cousin John also contributed his legacy through his service in the Air Force. Even those who did not serve directly in the military, like my grandmother Snell, played a vital role. She worked as a mechanic on aircrafts, which is how she met my grandfather. Each of these individuals have sacrificed their lives to save our country. There are many children across America who, like me, have relatives who have served or is currently serving in the military. For these families, the experience can be deeply impactful. Children may feel fear or worry about their family members or friends, but with reassurance from their positive thoughts, they know that their family is doing what's best.
Let's give her a stand.
Yeah, big time.
Thank you again, and I'll see you next month.
Well done, and thank you very much. All right, now we have two proclamations before our next presentation, which we will get to after consent agenda. So we'll start with Child Abuse Prevention Month, and then we'll have a couple of words from North Star Community. A proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention Month, April 2026. Whereas the City of Lake City's future prosperity depends on nurturing the healthy development of children currently residing in Lake City. And whereas the abuse and neglect of children can cause severe, costly, and lifelong problems, including physical and mental health problems, school failure, and criminal behavior, which affects all of society. And whereas research shows that parents and caregivers who have social networks and know how to seek help in times of trouble are more resilient and better able to provide safe environments and nurturing experiences for their children. And whereas individuals, businesses, schools, and faith-based and community organizations must make children a top priority and take action to support the physical, social, emotional, and educational development and competency of all children. And whereas children deserve the opportunity to grow and thrive in healthy environments, free from threats of violence and harm. And whereas during the month of April, public and private sector agencies, child care professionals, child advocates, and residents will be increasing the public's awareness of child abuse and neglect prevention. Now, therefore, I, Noah Walker, Mayor of the City of Lake City, Florida, do hereby proclaim this month of April 2026 Child Abuse Prevention Month. The City of Lake City, for the City of Lake City, and in doing so, urge all citizens to join me in observing this month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Thank you.
And we thank you. I'd like to address the honorable councilman's council people, as well as the mayor. We, as Partnership of Strong Families, are committed to serving the children in Columbia County. We know that if kids are removed from homes as a result of abuse, and one of the things that we have found, that the numbers show that the biggest number of kids being removed is because of abuse. It's abuse and neglect. And what we're here to do is really to take care of those kids once they are removed. But the data also shows us and tells us that if kids are removed, the trauma of that removal stigmatizes that child and stay with that child for the rest of their lives. So what we do is we're committed at North Star is really trying to prevent children from being taken out of their homes. And that means that we have to work with the families. Any family that comes to us, we work with them, we do not judge them, and we try to ensure that we get them to where they need to be to keep them from having children removed. We served, since we've been open, we have served over 20,000, close to 20,000 families that have come through our centers needing help. Ms. Nichols here is working, she's part of partnerships, and they care for kids after they've been removed. And also, Sebastian here is also responsible trying to find quality homes to put children in once they're removed. It's real trying to serve the whole child. But we thank you so much for making this proclamation, and we thank you so much for caring about the children here in Columbia County. And we'd like to take a picture with you. We can.
Sure.
We do have a second proclamation tonight, which is Water Conservation Month, April 2026. The proclamation reads as forth. Whereas water is a basic and essential need of every living creature. And whereas the state of Florida, water management districts, and the city of Lake City utilities are working together to increase awareness about the importance of water conservation. And whereas the city of Lake City and state of Florida have designated April, typically a dry month when water demands are most acute, Florida's Water Conservation Month, to educate citizens about how they can help save Florida's precious water resources. And whereas the city of Lake City has always encouraged and supported water conservation through various educational programs and special events. And whereas every business, industry, school, and citizen make a difference when it comes to conserving water. And whereas every business, industry, school, and citizen can help save water and thus promote a healthy economy and community. Now, therefore, I, Noah Walker, Mayor of the City of Lake City, do hereby proclaim April as Water Conservation Month and urge each citizen and business to help protect our precious resource by practicing water-saving measures and becoming more aware of the need to save water. Mr. Osborne? You'd like to say a couple words and then we'll grab a photo?
Good evening. My name is Mike Osborne. I'm the director here at the water treatment plant. Every year we do this proclamation and we do a big push for water conservation. This year it's even more valuable that we get the word out. The whole state of Florida is actually in a drought. We are in a phase 2 right now, voluntary water restriction. Jacksonville and the St. Johns River just went into a mandatory water restriction. If we don't get more rain in the next few months, you'll probably see ourselves in that same mandatory water restriction. So every year we do this proclamation and we do a big push for water conservation, and we also do a big push to show off our water treatment plant. Out back, I brought in some water conservation stuff. Everybody feel free to grab something on their way out. And we also offer tours at our water treatment plant. If anybody would like to come do a tour at our water treatment plant, we'll show you how the water process here in Lake City is completed. We'll show you what we do as far as conservation, and we'll have a good time doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I encourage everybody to take him up on that water treatment. If we can all get a photo right here. Council, if you'd like to join. Say too that we have award-winning water here in Lake City next to Mike and his crew and our water treatment facilities. Okay. Up next, we have our approval of the consent agenda. Mr. Mayor,
May I approve?
Second.
a motion and a second on the consent agenda. Do we have any further comments, questions from the dais? We have nobody signed up for public comment on consent items. Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Harris?
Present.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan? Mayor Walker?
Yes.
We're good.
All right. We'll now move on to public participation, persons wishing to address the council. Citizens are encouraged to participate in City of Lake City meetings. I'm very happy to see everybody here. We have a lot of folks signed up for public comment tonight, so we're going to be strict on our 3-minute rule. So when the buzzer goes off, if you could please wrap it up within 5 to 10 seconds, that would be great. Up first, we will start with Ms. Kim Jackson.
I don't know what's left.
Hi. I know there's a lot of people here to talk today, and I know there's a lot of passionate people in the room. I'm going to try to stick to just facts.
Make sure you speak into the microphone. Sorry.
Okay. We have a petition with nearly 1,000 people that are requesting things to be looked into at Lake City Humane Society. We tried to do it with the board unsuccessfully. There are city ordinances that are being broken, your city ordinances. As recently as March 4th, 2 animals were picked up, put down within 6 minutes. Your own city ordinance states your stray hold, 3 days minimum. They weren't given that. Funding is not being used where it is said it's being used at. Donors' money is being taken for one thing and used elsewhere. There are things that we are requesting be investigated at the facility on a legal level, not just the unnecessary euthanasia of animals under false records, not just healthy, socialized dogs getting put down with a false label. That's not the only reason that we are here today. We are requesting that the city look into where your taxpayers' funding is going and where they're saying it's being used. Kennels are falling apart. Kennels are falling on employees. They're falling on dogs. They've had fundraisers for these kennels. That money is being put elsewhere. All that we are requesting is that these dogs and these cats, when they have them, are given the humane treatment that they are supposed to be given, and they are not getting that. Animals are sitting there in need of medical treatment and not getting it while they wait on a stray hold, even with veterinarian offices in Lake City offering to help. That's inhumane for your humane society. People are asking for transparency. They're asking to know where their funding is going. They're asking to know where their donations are going. They're being denied information. They're being denied public records. We have plenty of proof of the things that are going on there. We are just requesting that somebody look into it. That's all we want. The director does not have the best of intentions for the animals here. This has become a place where they build pretty things and ignore the dogs in the back. Your city could get help. Your citizens that are being ignored, they could be helped. The Humane Society has the ability. If a local rescue with 0 funding can TNR nearly 100 cats this year alone, but Lake City Humane Society can't do 1.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Up next, we will have Ms. Caitlin Davenport.
Good evening, councils and members of the community. My name is Caitlin Davenport, and I'm here today as a former employee of the Lake City Humane Society, speaking from the heart not only for myself, but for the employees too afraid to speak up and the animals who don't have a voice. During my employment, I was asked to commit myself fully, which in time led to having me to leave my other job and work 7 days a week as the kennel tech lead on just above minimum wage. I cared deeply and gave everything I had because I believed in the mission at the time, and I believed I was helping the animals. During that time, employees were talked down to, bullied even. If you questioned anything at all, you were isolated and made an example out of in front of all of your peers. That kind of environment creates fear, and when people are too afraid to speak, the animals suffer, and they do suffer. Instead of spending money to build a tea room, funds could be used to fix the AC systems in the kennels. I remember mid-July, beginning of August, a few times drenching myself with the water hose because I was overheating. I can walk away from that. Those dogs cannot. In my time there, it didn't matter if the dogs were outside for 2 to 3 minutes. Kennels needed to be done by 5. Many of times I personally took the dogs out myself only to be called back in before the dog could even feel the grass. Imagine living your life stuck in a kennel with no working AC or actual heater, no relief, no stimulation, no chance to run and play. That is not care, that is confinement. It doesn't stop there. Just a few weeks ago, a piece of concrete fell on one of the kennel techs. The kennels are falling apart on people, even eventually on the dogs if not taken care of. But they have a tea room, nice AC and heater in the front office, a beautiful clinic while the dogs live in squalor. And then there is dogs who didn't even get a chance to survive. Hercules, Willow, Shiloh, Lydia, Fraser, Nessa, Two-Tone, Tipton. Just a few examples of ones that were not hopeless causes, and I urge you to look into these too. They had names, they had spirit, and they deserved a second chance as well. And while they're the issue of the potentially mismanaged funds affecting dogs, animal control is being turned away from helping their community under the pretenses of having no space. Where at one point in recent time, almost 40 kennels at once were open. All of this is not just mismanagement. This is a systemic failure that is costing lives. This community deserves better, the employees deserve better, and these animals deserve way more than what they are getting. I'm urging you to investigate. Do not look away. Look at the conditions these animals are living in. Look at where your money is going. Help make changes. We want truth, transparency, and we want better for our community, for all our people and all of our animals in need.
Thank you, Ms. Davenport. Up next, we have Mr. Roy Armstrong.
Hi, my name's Roy Armstrong. I am also a former employee. About a little over 2 years ago is when I was let go. My position was done away with, yet the next day they posted an opening for that position, strictly because I spoke out against some of the decisions that the board members were making. I'm here to speak about the mismanagement and the conduct of the board of directors there. There's a lot of people been in this city and in this county for years, have seen some of the turmoil and the negativity that was associated with the Humane Society. Yet it still continues. I mean, we're talking from 15, 20 years ago. And one of the common denominator is a lot of the common people on the board. I personally was let go because I spoke out against the contract that they signed with the county. I tried to point out what was going to happen when that contract was signed, that in fact the Humane Society would be overwhelmed with animals brought to them by the county. But one thing that sticks in my mind when I did that, and I did go before the publicity, TV 20 and that, was the former president said to me in front of other people, we don't want to hear input from you guys, which meant they don't want to hear from the employees. They don't want to hear from the staff. And what it seems to be evident, and if you see with the turnover, what's going on here, if you don't agree with what's happening with the board and their decisions, you're out of there. Has nothing to do with if you don't agree with what's happening with the animals, or if you're a supporter of the animals, you're out of here. It's if you don't like it, and I think we've heard that from the current director, if you don't like it here, there's the door. Well, what's happening is we're forgetting about the lives of those animals. We're forgetting about the welfare. I've been with them, I was them 7 years, and I've been associated with them close to 12 years. Prior to my employment, my wife and I were volunteers. We helped to start cleaning those kennels as far as peeling the paint off those kennels. Recent pictures, photos that I've seen, because I can't go there, I'm not allowed to be on the premises, and been banned from any of their social media. Those kennels are still in the same state with the paint peeling, concrete blocking coming off. And so I would suggest, please, look into where your taxpayer funding is going with this contract with the Humane Society. And I also request that donors look at, ask, where's my money going? Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Armstrong. Up next, we have Mr. Michael Warren. Yes, sir.
We in the past, now I just want on the record, we weren't on no out. You told my people no outbursts and stuff. Okay, go ahead. I just want to get it on the record.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Mr. Michael?
Yeah. Last night I was pepper sprayed or gassed by y'all officers, and to my knowledge, Ms. Chavela is the councilwoman of District 10, correct? Well, we reached out to you multiple times last night, couldn't get you on the phone. Another family member talked to Ms. Harris. She said she didn't have time for the shit. There was no illegal activities going on Railroad Street. People was hanging out, having a good time, no violence. People was gassed. They told me that if I didn't stop selling food, I was going to jail, close my business down. I lost money, had to refund customers. for the food they had already purchased. And I just want to know where y'all stand at with it. Do y'all support what happened last night?
So typically, Mr. Warren, this is a back and forth, but Mr. City Manager Rosenthal, you have something to say?
I was also pushed by an officer too. It's on camera. I got video, and we're gonna request the body cam also.
Okay. Do you have any contingent questions based on that? Because I don't want to take up your time.
Yeah, I want to know where y'all stand at. I mean,
Mr. Rosenthal.
I was gonna mention, Mayor, that the chief can update us on what happened if we're at that point.
Well, let's wait till so we've got two things that we'll address, obviously, at the end of public comment.
Okay.
So we'll address this at the end of public comment. Thank you, Mr. Warren. All right. Mr. Sylvester Warren.
Sylvester Warren, can you reclaim my time, madam, please?
Start over.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Sylvester Warren III. My address is the Black Community. I wish I could get up here like the young lady in the 5th grade and talk about this great history of America, but as a black man, I don't have that privilege to talk about that. What comes to my mind when I think about the history of this country is 1619, when my people were brought over here as slaves in the colony of Jamestown in Virginia. Can't talk about the Independence Day because it was through a struggle of June 19, 1865, Galvin, Texas, that we refer to as Juneteenth. I would love to come and talk about animals, and I support everybody who's doing so because everybody has a champion in their cause, and I support that. I'm all for animals, but I'm definitely for black people too, and I think they're human, and I think they have rights. So I'm here for civil rights and human rights today, and regardless of whatever everybody else is here for. And what I saw on Easter Sunday, what some of these folks play around and call Resurrection Sunday and Easter and all that good stuff, what I saw was a demonstration of something that I used to read in the Black history textbooks during the era of Jim Crow, where you got the police chief militarizing themselves in our community during the Annie Maddox Park celebration during Easter. You have the Sheriff Kitchens acting as a KKK member, standing on top of a SWAT vehicle, looking down on my people like peasants and slaves, as if he was some type of slave master, inflicting intimidation and fear. That was distasteful, uncalled for, shouldn't have never been sanctioned. You got people like Chevala Young, and I understand that y'all got the chief that y'all already done prepped to come up here and talk so they can try to calm and fool the masses because y'all have had time to talk about this. Yeah, Mr. Don Rosenstock, the city manager, and the black elected leaders. So I just want to make sure that you know what you did to your people last night, not answering the phone call from people who voted you in, calling people girls and being disrespectful to them on the phone when they're calling you about real concerns. My place of businesses that I own and my property being violated by people that's renting from me. That will not happen again. That will not happen again. And we're here tonight to demonstrate we're not our ancestors. This will never happen again. This is your first and your last warning. So I will ask you nicely to get your house in order, because I promise you, I can't speak for anybody else. I'm the type of person that will burn the house down with me in it. Call that card if you want to.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Up next, we have Ms. Kendria Jones.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and members of the community. My name is Kendria Jones, and I am the owner of Trax Venue located at 164 Northeast Railroad Street. I stand before you today to express my disappointment and concern on the actions taken by law enforcement on yesterday that directly impacted both civilians and small businesses like mine. The incident I am referring to involved chemical agents being deployed in a way that went beyond the intended target area and affected innocent civilians. Law enforcement officers came onto personal property and demanded that I close my business without providing proper legal justification or documentation authorizing such action. As a result, both existing and potential customers were forced to leave my business. This conduct constitutes an overreach of authority and the infringement on my property and business rights. As a direct result of this interference, my business operations were disrupted, leading to a miserable loss of revenue. It is important to note, in contrast to the incident described above, other community events and businesses in the area are typically managed under the principles of community policing, which emphasize cooperation, communication, and de-escalation rather than excessive or intrusive enforcement measures. In those instances, law enforcement presence is measured and supportive, aimed at ensuring public safety while respecting the rights of business owners and community members. In my case, however, the response was disproportionately aggressive and deviated from these established practices. The presence of law enforcement on my property, combined with a directive to immediately cease operations, reflected an overbearing and inconsistent application of authority. This disparity raises serious concerns regarding unequal treatment, lack of procedural fairness, and potential abuse of discretion. Such actions not only disrupted my lawful business operations, but also undermined the trust and cooperative relationship that community policing is intended to foster between law enforcement and local businesses. Small businesses are an essential part and vital part of this community. We should not have to bear the burden of decisions that put our customers at risk and disrupt our abilities to operate.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Up next, we'll have Ms. Crystal Deddy.
Hi, y'all. My name's Crystal. I'm with Living Like Larry Farm Sanctuary. I am not here to take sides. I am here as a professional working in shelter medicine since 1999 and in veterinary medicine since 2001, specializing in emergency and critical care and in shelter medicine. Real quick, paint on kennels, they're going to peel if you got dogs in them. Florida statute, stray holds do not apply to an injured animal, and they shouldn't, because who wants their dog laying in a kennel for 3 days injured? The majority of these issues, talking about the director, need to be handled among the Lake City Humane Society Board, the public entity. I work throughout the U.S. with partnershiping with ethical rescues. Lake City Humane Society looks like Disneyland when you start traveling around and seeing dogs dying in cages that they can't turn around in. And that's what you see just as close as Georgia. Okay, I propose if we really care about what's going on in Lake City, we stop fighting and griping, come together, and find solutions to work together. I'm seeing Elizabeth as frustrated. I don't know her. I've met her once. What I'm seeing is frustration, and I'm seeing division when there should be unity, and rescuers, ethical rescuers that are not breeders pretending to be rescuers, should be working together. And my email is real easy to find. My phone number is 740-656-6655. Ones who want to get off their ass and actually do something and stop talking about it, text me.
Thank you, Ms. Denny. Up next, we have signed up Dr. Erica Mayo.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Erica Mayo. I am a business owner in the city, and I am in the process of opening a pharmacy and wellness center, specifically to bring healthcare access to an underserved area of this community. I am investing in the city, building in this community, and doing my part to uplift the area. What I witnessed last night following a peaceful Easter gathering was not just concerning, it was unacceptable. After the gathering, people came downtown for one reason: to support local businesses. They came peacefully to spend money and to fellowship. When they arrived, they were met with force. And let's deal with one fact: there was no identified criminal activity that was happening. Yet, customers walking to businesses were gassed and forced to leave. A business owner was pepper sprayed while working on his own property. Another business owner was threatened with being pepper sprayed while standing on his own premises. This is not crowd control. That is escalation, and I want to be very clear. Use of force standards require that force be objectively reasonable and the least amount necessary. My question is, what specific threat justified this level of force? Some may say businesses were not shut down. However, what is relevant is that law enforcement most certainly drove customers away. You use force to prevent people from accessing lawful businesses. That is economic harm and disruption. That is unacceptable. What this council and citizens cannot ignore is that in the same city, a couple of blocks away, the city hosts large-scale events, crowds, vendors, and high traffic. Those events are managed with planning, coordination, and support, not gas, not threats, and not force. I am asking directly, why was this community treated differently? Because from where we stand, this does not look like equal enforcement. And while all of this was happening, business owners were reaching out for help. Calls were made, messages were sent, there was no response. And when contact was finally made, the response was dismissive and unprofessional. When contact was made with Councilwoman Tammy Harris, when she picked up, I asked her if she could contact the city manager to have law enforcement stop gassing our citizens. Her response was, "What do you want me to do about it? Call the chief." Then she goes on to say, "Girl, I don't have time for this." When I asked who is she calling a girl, she goes on to say, "You, girl, and what are you gonna do about it?" "I don't have time for this, girl," and then hung up in my face. There were others around me who witnessed this conversation. This board is full of unprofessional, self-centered, so-called leaders, from so-called leaders trying to come from behind the diocese to fight citizens who are expressing freedom of speech.
Thank you, Ms. Mayo. All right, up next, Tammy Flowers. Is Tammy Flowers in the room? Oh, she's coming, okay.
Hello, I appreciate you giving me your time today. I'm only here as a citizen of Lake City and the situation with the Humane Society. I'm very glad that some of the people have been documenting things that are going on. And I know we had someone say that, Liz, I've only met her one time, but she seems to be great. But from interviews and just other posts that have been on there with legal documentation and pictures, I, as a citizen, am very upset. Quite a few nights I've sat there and cried over it, thought it was just not the right thing to be going on. I think we need to look into the finances there. The tea room, that would be lovely if we had enough money to already have the dog kennels the way they should be. But we don't. So put that money towards that. And people that are sponsoring dogs, and then the dogs are being killed anyway, or the money is going to something else and the dog is being euthanized, these animals deserve to have a voice. And if I can be a voice, then I will be. And I'm just very discouraged. And I hope that you look into as far as management or where money is going. I know that Doggy Dude Ranch and the Rescue Ranch with the cats, they don't get funding and they're able to do a whole lot more with these animals. And why? Because they care. They have compassion. They have a real heart for what they're doing. If you have somebody sitting there saying, I'd rather have somebody shoot a dog than to take that dog, that's wrong. That person doesn't belong there. You at least try to call somewhere else and see if someone else can take that dog. And dogs being labeled aggressive, when you've got to realize that they're in a kennel, how would you feel being shut up in a kennel 24/7 with nothing, nowhere to go, not being let out, not being treated correctly. Us as people, we wouldn't want that to be caged up for 24 hours and not be able to do anything. I'm sorry, I don't have the eloquent speeches and everything. I'm just a citizen, but I just wanted you to know the way that I feel. I feel that we really need to look into Lake City Humane Society, because I see Doggy Dude Ranch, that place is great, and they get their funding by fundraising. The ranch rescue with the cats, they do great. I live in Lake City, but yet I feel like I should have to, sorry, that was unintentional. I feel like I should have to go all the way to Live Oak to be able to volunteer, because I don't agree with the way that they're doing things in Lake City Humane Society.
Thank you, Ms. Flowers.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Up next, we have Miss Lisa Glunt.
Good evening. I'm Lisa Glunt. I'm actually the executive director of the Leon County Humane Society, an hour and a half west. And I just felt the need to come because over the last 2 weeks, I've seen what's been going on in social media, and you know, what happens in one county trickles over to the other. Animals don't know county lines. To start off, and so many of these people, I can hear the passion in them. The first thing I noted was the way that your executive director at the Lake County Humane Society speaks to their staff is through intimidation, which is absolutely disturbing and disgusting in this field. This is a field where people go into this line of work because they have a passion for animals. And they quickly learn that they have to deal with the daily suffering and neglect of the very things that they love. They need the ability to speak to other people, to vent to people. And when you're taking that away from them, you leave them with nothing. That right there is how you burn out good staff. That's how you lose people in this field. And at the end of the day, the only things that pay from that are the animals. Also, just noting that the executive director couldn't provide a budget. That's a big problem, especially when your taxpayers are partially funding that Humane Society there. I watched those videos repeatedly, and no rescue's perfect, no shelter's perfect. Leon County Humane Society is technically a no-kill humane society if you look strictly at the numbers. However, years ago, we removed all of that language from our organization because what I've seen mostly is when an organization becomes a no-kill, they focus so greatly on achieving a number, they forget about the individual animals. And those are the ones that pay. And I see so much of that in the interview that I was able to see online. I see animals without enrichment in their kennels, which causes suffering, and down the line their behavior decreases, and at the end of the day, they end up meeting the same fate. They're euthanized because of behavior rather than space. If you guys haven't seen those interviews, I would definitely urge you to watch them. I'm not the only one outside of Lake City in the animal welfare field that is watching these things and thinking these things, but a lot of people don't want to step up because it's not their community. But again, we're your neighbors. We work with rescues and shelters all over the state, even in Georgia, and we would love to help out and be a resource for the Lake City Humane Society, but there are a lot of things that I think need your leadership to step in as well. So thank you guys so much for what you do for your community, though.
Thank you, Ms. Blunt. Up next, we have Mr. Terrence Jones.
Good evening. My name is Terrence Jones, the owner of Towns Empire.
Mr. Jones, let's start him over. Will you please speak into the microphone?
Okay, can you start time?
Yes, sir.
My name is Terrence Jones. I'm the owner of Towns Empire. Last night, how we was treated was uncalled for. I never get up here and talk negative. Anytime I talk, it's always positive. But the way we was treated last night, the way the sheriff department came on my property and told the young lady that was selling food that they had to shut down, how we was gassed last night, I don't like that. We should be treated the exact same way as everybody else. but it hurts me in my heart because I respect each and every one of these law enforcement. But what they did last night, it wasn't no fighting, it wasn't no shooting, it wasn't nothing but no foolishness. Only thing they did is seeing people having a good time. Then for them to come out, the way they came out, with their chest stuck out, with their tear gas and this and that, that was uncalled for. If it was at the Luster battlefield, and I don't pray the race card, but I got to give it to you blood raw, it was not right. And for that, me and my son bust our ass. Excuse my French, because I don't cut when I'm mad. I say all kind of stuff. But we bust our ass trying to get that field right for people to come park and have places to go. When we got there, they told us that they couldn't park there. They had to leave. They turned around. My son worked hard on that field, but he didn't get any money. We bought lights, so it wasn't no people can see everything like that. But they came and they destroyed everything. Not Lake City Police Department, Lake City Sheriff Department, Mr. Kitchen. I don't know him. I ain't never spoke with him, but they came in with a hot head. And they came in, they tried to prove a point to everybody like, this is my town. But it ain't your town. It's the city town. It's our town. And you talk about, hey, let's come together as a group. We didn't come together as no group last night. We came together for destroying stuff. I put on Facebook, hey, y'all come and look at Lake City. We always have a negative talk. Oh, Lake City got crime, Lake City got this, Lake City got that. That wasn't what we had last night. We had peace and everything like that. But you have other people that come in here and just try to change it. And I don't like it. Y'all will never hear me come up here and talk negative unless it's always positive. But I didn't get a positive thing out of that last night. You had, each and every last one of y'all had to be there to experience that. If y'all were there to experience, y'all would feel the same way I feel. We feel like I was back in the 1950s, 60s, you know what I'm saying, treated like dogs. Nobody deserves it. I get seeing a lot of people here talking about dogs. We was treated like dogs last night. And that's not right. And somebody got to be accountable for that. We need to sit together and we need to talk. We need to treat everybody the same, whether it's white, black, Puerto Rican, Mexican. I love everybody. But at the same time, we got to love ourselves. We got to treat other people like we want to be treated. That's all I ask.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Up next, we have Mr. Blaine Freeman. Sorry, Mrs. Freeman.
How you doing? Okay, so after standing here for a little bit, hearing some things, y'all should be ashamed of yourself. You let these sheriff's department act like the good old boy system. We ain't there no more. These people don't need to be treated like that when they're not doing nothing wrong. That's first thing. Second thing is the Humane Society. There has been, and you're going to hear it again, multiple dollars worth of donations that were not used for things. A dentist gave an $85,000 donation for a brick walk. That never happened. $2,000+ for a dog park. Not that this county's responsible enough for that anyways, but that never happened. What else? There was another one, another large donation in the same amount for the clinic. That's not even a clinic. It's now a tea party room, as we're a bunch of 5-year-olds. And a thrift store. So the board has got to go. Y'all have got to get rid of Laura Hunter and whoever else is crooked and fraud on the board. This is the problem with the Lake City Humane Society. They can't successfully do anything with crooks running it. Crooks have been running it since before I even got here, but I've been back home since 2017, and that's all I have seen is crooked. It's either a good old boy crooked, it's money being spent on stuff that's not supposed to be spent on. You're lying to the community about what you're spending the money on, which is not okay because our tax dollars pay y'all and it pays them too. So y'all work for us. It's not the other way around, okay? Y'all need to start handling business or we're gonna start handling business ourselves. We're gonna go all the way to Tallahassee. I'm gonna contact the Attorney General, whoever else needs to be involved to investigate each and every one of you if nobody wants to do something about this Lake City Humane Society stuff, this fraud, and now the sheriff doing what they're doing. That none of this stuff is okay. We're supposed to be united we stand, not divided we fall. We can't get anywhere if y'all gonna keep doing what y'all are doing with the black community or anything else. Things have to change. And if it takes all of us standing here to make that change, then that's what it's going to be. But I'm going to be behind everybody's side on this, whether it's the Humane Society or what happened last night that I didn't even know about till I got here. It's ludicrous. And if any of you guys can lay your head down at night and be okay with anything that's been going on in this town, whether it was last night or 2 weeks ago, you all need an evaluation. I mean, I'm just going to put it plain and simple. It should not be this way. We should not have to come up here and beg and plead for y'all to do your jobs. You guys should be looking into this. There's 2 books at the Humane Society. There's a real one and a fake one. You need to do your part, and you need to look into these books. You need to see where these numbers are at, where it's going, who's committing the fraud, and then put their butt where they belong. And then put people in this facility that actually want to make it better. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Up next, we have Ms. Azzy Handy. Ms. Handy.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to speak and for your time. I agree. I just, I run several nonprofit organizations in this community, and we do a lot to help the community. And it seems like we need to just take a look at the direction that this city is going. I know I talked about this a couple months ago here. Like I was saying, Live Oak is a much smaller community than ours, and they have splash parks, they have bike trails, they have a very nice community. Lake City is much bigger and has many more people commuting to and through it. We should have much more going on for us than Live Oak does. And then we see the Humane Society stories online, the things going on there. I just think, like, what are we doing to change these things? And then I'll go over to, I saw the videos of what they were talking about yesterday for the Easter party. Seeing the sheriff on top of a SWAT vehicle looking around people, I would have been terrified. I wasn't there, but I was like, that's very intimidating. There's definitely different ways to handle situations if you feel like it's going to get out of hand. But that definitely made us feel like it was going backwards. Like she was saying, we need to be united, coming together, working together to make our city safer. Also, I know what you hear me talk about the Meridian Hospital. Also, we have millions and millions of our tax dollars going towards organization Meridian, who wants to open a psych ward in the middle of downtown. Our downtown area is extremely small. We have very few blocks. They're comparing it to Orlando, Tampa. You can't compare Lake City to Orlando and Tampa, but we gave away the building. It was donated. This building is over $20 million to them. Lake City has one area. We literally have one area to walk around that feels safe, and that's our downtown Lake DeSoto. Well, now they're planning on turning that hospital into a psych ward. No one's going to feel safe walking around that anymore, and then giving our tax dollars to them. They are a nonprofit organization who drew in over 100, I think it was 100 something million dollars last year for their organization. Why are we giving Lake City's tax dollars to something like that? And they've been in this community for decades, and they have a 1.7 rating on Google. That says a lot. Like, I just feel like, what is our community doing to help better our community, especially with our tax dollars, when it feels like we're going backwards and not paying attention, and just money's just flying out the window in different ways that we should be stewarding it much better than it is. Even saw the video that Kyle had posted about the parks. That was scary, seeing that slide. It had a huge slice on it. If a child had gone down that, you could have had a very dangerous incident that had happened. You have the city workers going to these areas every day, cleaning and doing things. Why aren't things being looked at? It's really sad to see the direction that we're going in. I really hope that you guys would do better at organizing the way our money is going out and being spent, because we work very hard and pay our taxes, and then we have to have it being spent on things that it doesn't make any sense.
Thank you, Ms. Handy. Up next, Mr. Murphy, Mr. Rashay Murphy.
How y'all doing today? It's nice to see you all. I'm Rashay Murphy. I'm a citizen here, but I want to talk about yesterday.
Make sure you speak it up.
Okay, I want to talk about last night. I believe all of you all stay in the city of Lake City, where you represent the city of Lake City. And it's like you all sit up here like y'all did not hear anything. Like when I sit back there and look at all these people saying this, all y'all facial expressions, like y'all don't care. Like y'all did not even hear what went on. Your head down, Mr. Manager, all the time. I sit and study y'all. Because your body language is what's going to tell me the truth. You again, I see. Mr. Mayor, I saw you on Saturday. You came out to the park about an incident about a dog, correct? You got called out for that, right? And you showed up. You even seen me and spoke to me. But you know what got me? You didn't say nothing to none of them kids out there. You didn't say, I'm the mayor here. You didn't reach out to none of them. You didn't do nothing. But you came to show up about an incident of a one person calling. But you didn't say nothing to them kids. You walked away. Just as well you came to say something to me, you should have said something to all them kids out there, man. But you the mayor of the city. That let me know you don't care. That showed me right then and there too. Last night with the sheriff. I'm a property manager, so I'm trying to get help with the police, but what I saw last night is crazy. You all up on a truck. That's racism at its best. The white man standing over the black people, I got them contained. That's what it looked like. Then you're driving through the community on the trucks, on the bike of them. Then after we leave the park, everything go well. Y'all wanted something to happen. That's why you did all the traffic stuff like you did. None of our community went with it. We ain't go with all the foolishness. We said, okay, we're gonna do what we need to do. Then afterwards, we go to the establishments that people have. Y'all tear gassing. I got triggered last night. I was sitting in my car and heard them say, you are in an unlawful setting. Please move or you're gonna get gas. That's triggering. And I'm seeing a big SWAT van. And you all sit up here today like y'all ain't hear shit. Pretty much how y'all facial expressions was. It's like, y'all gotta cut this out. These people everybody's hurting. Hurting. Do something.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Up next, Mr. Kyle Green.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kyle Green. I've been a lifelong resident of this community, and I'm an independent journalist who has been looking into the recent issues surrounding the animal services in our area. I want to be clear, this is not a personal attack. This is about accountability, transparency, and making sure the needs of both the animals and the community are being met. Based on publicly available records, community concerns, and my own firsthand observations, I do not personally feel that the needs of the animals are currently being met under the existing arrangement. That alone should be something we take seriously. At the same time, financial documentation shows an organization with significant assets and funding. With that in mind, I believe there should be more transparency regarding how and where taxpayer dollars and public donations are being spent. This community deserves clear answers and confidence that resources are being used in a way that directly supports animal care and services. I also want to point out that there are alternative options available. There are organizations capable of stepping in and providing these services if the council chooses to move in a different direction. At the end of the day, this is about ensuring that no animal is left without care and no member of this community is turned away when they need help. I respectfully ask the council to evaluate whether their current contract is truly serving the best interest of the community and the animals, and to consider all available options moving forward. Finally, I would like to formally request that the council consider voting to schedule a workshop where these concerns can be discussed in a more detailed and addressed openly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Green. That concludes our list of folks that are signed up for public comment, but we will, because I said that we would have the chief come up and give us some context on some of this. While he's coming up, I heard a couple things mentioned, Lakeshore Hospital being given to a private organization that was done by Lakeshore Hospital Authority, and not the city of Lake City. Chief's going to address some of this. The Humane Society, we have a contract with them. Chief, you can address that as well. Our parks, recently there was a video that went around our parks. Steve addressed this a meeting ago. They have been repaired to a degree. We are rolling out a major overhaul of our parks. We look forward to taking care of our children and making sure that they have a safe place to play that's clean and respectful to them. And then in terms of the event Saturday, it was a great event. The event that I went to on Saturday, that was a great event. It was an Easter egg hunt at Annie Maddox Park. There were a lot of children there. I did speak to children. I saw Mr. Murphy when I went back to the park after I left the first time. And I didn't interact with any children that time, but I had already left and come back to address an issue that they were having at the park. So, Chief, please take it away.
What would you like me to address first?
Please address the incident yesterday.
So, Easter at Annie Maddox, as everybody's aware, last year we did have an officer shot at the park. Based on that, I met with the Annie Maddox board at the end of last year, and then again this year, along with a member of the city council and my staff. We sat down, went over a security plan with them, how we wanted traffic to flow for the safety of everybody, and we implemented that plan. And at the park, everything went fine. There were no major incidents. We did tow a couple of vehicles, but that's minor for something that size. So I do want to compliment the Annie Maddox board on working with us for the safety of the people that attended. Once the park closed at 7:30, a large crowd gathered over on Marion Street by Railroad. The crowd kept growing. It got unwieldy. They got into the roadway. Traffic was blocked. People couldn't get through. Emergency vehicles could not get through. We started getting complaint from the residents there that they couldn't get to or from their houses. The decision was made after it got to such a size to declare it as an unlawful assembly. The appropriate notifications were made to give everybody every opportunity to leave the area. The officers and the deputies were meeting resistance. People would not leave, at which time the decision was made to deploy pepper balls. And tear gas was never used. The area was cleared. They broke up into smaller groups in different areas of the city. And later on that night, we did have an individual stated he was shot. He went to one of the local hospitals for treatment, and we also arrested an individual waving a gun around. However, we do not believe that was tied to the shooting at the time. That's basically what I have.
Please, hey, we've had public comment, folks. We've had public comment. Does anybody... Listen, we're not having any more disruptions. The next person to speak out from the back of the room is going to be removed from the meeting. I've noticed this meeting 3 times now. That's it. Does anybody from the council have any questions for Chief? Mr. Carter.
I do want to make sure it's clarified that the shooting that happened last night, the young man shot in the leg, was not at Annie Maddox Park and did not take place during their Easter celebration?
There were no issues, except for a couple of little kids getting in fights. There was no violence at the Annie Maddox Park event.
And that's great, because obviously we had the issue last year. I'm glad that you guys were able to work with the board to make sure that everyone was safe and happy there. So, because I did see, it seems like a lot of people are correlating the two events, but they're not necessarily related.
They're not related at all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Ms. Harris.
Chief, when it comes to the towed vehicles, how many vehicles were towed? Do you know what?
I don't know what the Sheriff's Department or the Florida Highway Patrol towed. I believe we towed 2 vehicles. One was towed. When they ran the plate, they found that it was under a plate seizure. So the plate was taken off the vehicle, and because the vehicle is no longer registered, it was towed. And I believe one vehicle was towed about a block away. It had parked and it was on the sidewalk, forcing people into the roadway in order to get around it.
Okay. You said that the street was blocked. What roads were actually blocked?
Lieutenant, it's Marion, Railroad.
Mr. Register, could you please speak into the microphone? Thank you.
After the event at the park, when the crowd dispersed and went to different areas of the community, yes, there was street blockage. Railroad Street was blocked, Marion Street was gridlocked. People were spilling out into the roadway.
Put that so we can.
Yes, people were in the road. There was large crowds that gathered, even at Duval and Maine, that were spilling into the roadway. Alma and Jefferson, the roads were full. Cars couldn't get through. People were in the roadway refusing to move. And Mississippi area was also completely gridlocked.
So when you said the roads were blocked, did you mean people were standing in the street, or were they crossing the street?
It was people in vehicles stopped and standing in the street.
Stopped and standing in the street.
Yes.
And at that time, what did the officers do? Did y'all have a large speaker on and say, hey, y'all have to get out the road? What I'm trying to find out, what led up to the announcement, unlawful assembly, and then the pepper balls?
Yes, ma'am. That's the standard. We try and talk to as many people as we can, but there's so many people that we can't even get in. That's when we start making the loud PA announcements.
But it was announced that
Yes, ma'am.
they needed to get out of the road, so traffic could flow. And the two major
Multiple
streets
times.
was Marion.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. So the streets was Marion and Railroad and some other streets, pretty much in the corridor.
Yes, ma'am.
Right by the railroad tracks. Okay, so when you all started announcing that there were unlawful assembly, what happened then? Was there a pause in between that time, whereas you gave people time to get out of there, or did you all say it's unlawful assembly and then you start shooting the pepper balls, or however you?
No, ma'am. We give people an opportunity to get out
So
leave the area before we start deploying anything.
So ample time was given. Are you talking ample time as in 5 to 10 minutes?
I was not immediately right there, but that's standard. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I hear that it was the sheriff on top of the vehicle, right? And that was at Anamidox Park.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you all get any feedback as far as him doing that during that time? During the time you were at Anamidox and they were on top of the vehicle, was
No one
people
spoke to me directly
complaining
about it. No one spoke to me directly about it. No, ma'am.
Chief, did you hear anybody complaining about
I didn't
how
know.
that looked, that made people feel?
I didn't know about that until today.
All right. So I just want to be clear when I say this, because I don't want misinformation to go out. All towed vehicles were towed because of a reason, and there was a total of 2.
My understanding is we had 2 vehicles.
2 vehicles towed. All right, the traffic was blocked, which led to the reasoning of it being said after you all had told them to please get out the streets because traffic has to flow on any of the streets, any street, city streets, county streets. It has to be a clear way where people can travel back and forth, right?
And we were getting complaints from the residents. They couldn't get to their houses and they couldn't leave their houses.
Okay, so then the traffic was blocked, and then that's when the officers started announcing there's an unlawful assembly because people would not get out of the roadway, right?
Correct.
Okay, so then at that moment, when they did not get out of the roadway, that is when the pepper balls spurt, how y'all do that? You
They
throw
deployed the
balls or
pepper.
what?
It's like a paintball gun.
All right.
So they fire them into the ground usually.
So at that time, that is when the pepper ball sprays
Correct.
started. It wasn't because you just saw them out there and you all decided. Who shot the pepper balls? Was it the Lake City Department or was it the
Sheriff's Department and the Police Department.
It was both departments. So both the sheriff and the police department collectively thought at this moment, we have to take control of this situation because apparently it was out of control. If the warning was put in place, whereas it's time to get out the roadway and all of that, right?
Correct.
Okay, so what time approximately did this happen? Was it late? Was it
9:30?
9:30?
I believe it was around 9:30. Don't hold me to it.
Hey, we're not, no more disruptions from the back of the room, please.
So approximately around 9:30ish, that is when you all told everything pretty much happened. Is that normal protocol?
Yes.
So that is normal. So if I go to Tampa and they had something like that, and let's for God's sake say something of this magnitude, no matter the color, that these are the same protocols that would have been taking place, because you would have had to take control of the situation, whereas the streetways needed to be open, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we had a gentleman to come up here, and I'm gonna say it like a sure enough is. He lied when he said I cursed him. I had never spoke to him or anything. But it was said that he got sprayed in his face because he was on his property. Do you know the incident of that? Because it's the first I'm hearing of it. So
As far as the police department goes, our officers use pepper ball. If the sheriff's department or the highway patrol use mace, I'm not aware of it.
okay. So is that common practice for you to go on somebody's property and spray them or whatever?
If they declare an unlawful assembly, private property or public property, we clear the crowd.
So that is the law.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is the law. Okay. That'd be all.
Hey,
Thank you, Chief.
that's the last time. Please, Mr. Warren, I think that's you, Mr. Michael Warren. I'm going to remove you from the meeting now for your third yelling out from the back of the room. Thank you. Have a good night. Questions for you, Chief. Body cams and dash cams were on?
Yes.
Okay. Were there any arrests made?
I do not believe, oh, well, for the firearm, which was unrelated to that what happened up later on, that was unrelated.
We have another removal from the back of the room. Dr. Mayo, I believe that was you.
Chief,
Hold on. I've given enough warning, folks. We're adults, or there are a lot of adults in this room. There are some children. I appreciate that they haven't been the ones yelling out.
To answer the question, the arrest was made for the male that was waving a gun at the crowd. He was observed and then later identified, detained. They found the weapon on him and he was arrested for the weapons violation.
did you, since a lot of this is being said, did you go and look at, I know it's just one day, but did you go back and look at any footage to make for sure that like city department was doing what they were supposed to? Did you check on any of that footage?
My Office of Professional Standards is uploading the videos. There's a lot of it. They're going to be looking at that. I have not looked at the report yet. Unfortunately, the last week, the Sheriff's Department's computer-aided CAD system, the dispatch system, has been down, so we haven't been able to upload our reports yet. But any use of force issue, which this was, our Office of Professional Standards does a full review to make sure all policies were complied with.
Do you know if the Sheriff Department had cameras on them?
They have body cams. I believe they would have them on.
Will you be access to them? Say, for instance, if somebody said something happened and it was by the sheriff, would you be able to get that footage so we can look at that footage?
I could make a public records request, but only the sheriff can investigate his deputies. Just like only I can investigate the officers.
All right. When you get some of that footage, I would love to just look at it for myself so I don't have to take seconds.
Absolutely.
Vice Mayor Young?
Yes, I would like to say, as far as Animedox Park, where it all began, and I commend all of the workers, everybody who partake in planning as well as carrying out that event. I think it went very well. There were a lot of people. There were no major incidents, which says a lot. And I'm going to, since we're grouping us off, I'm going to say as a people, we do know how to get along. We do know how to have events and have a good time without major incidents. Small things are going to happen, whether it be children or whether it be adults, because we have a lot of different personalities going around in one area. I think it was an awesome time. And again, I commend. I don't know where it got off that as far as the towing, there wasn't a lot of towing. I did get a lot of calls. I answered a lot of calls, responded to the calls because it was proactive that we have a safe, exciting, enjoyable event. And far as I'm concerned, it wasn't perfect, but it was very close. The towing, those things happen as well. I knew about the towing because I got calls about the towing. And what I would like to see happen is when we have events like this, and again, they're not going to be perfect. I don't care how we plan. They're not going to be perfect, and I'm not talking about law enforcement right now. I'm talking about the event, the planning, and the people gathering. It's not going to be perfect, but what I like to see is that we look at these events and we take into consideration how it went and what can we do to better it the next time. I don't see pointing a finger at no one or two or group of people. We can all do something better the next time. I don't want to see this go away. I see in other towns and other cities, these large events are going away. We want to keep Easter Sunday, and I understand this is a tradition. It's been going on a lot of years. And I just want us to make it better instead of looking at the negative of it to see how can we do away with it. That was never the intention, and it's not the intention now. As far as law enforcement, like I say, I got a lot of phone calls right on up through the latter part of the night. I answered the majority of the calls. I did see where I missed calls the following morning. I reached out to some, but I called the chief. I called Rosenthal, city manager first. That's protocol. I can't just go out to the police department and interfere with what they have going on. I'll be totally out of order, and that's unsafe. So I called Rosenthal, who in turn reached out to the chief. So then I have a conversation with the chief and to try to iron some things out. Again, starting at Annie Maddox, it was not major. When it got to downtown, the businesses losing money, I hate that happen. It should not have happened. I grieve just like they do because that's their livelihood. They were there to make money. That's their business. Just as we go to other places, they're there to make money, honest living, and especially our young people who lost in this. So again, I would like for us to look at this and see what would we do different, Chief? What would we do different?
Well, to begin, we always do an after action. The Annie Maddox part of it, there's a couple things we could tweak to make it a little easier for the citizens and move it around. We've already had that discussion. The after event, if you'd want to call it that, if they had coordinated with us and say, here's what we plan, because it was planned, the food trucks went from one location to the other. If they would get with us and say, we plan on doing this on private property, then we can make plans to try and handle it. So if the crowd gets too big, we can keep the roadways open, we can keep control and make sure nobody gets hurt, just like we did at Annie Maddox. So that will be part of our after action. And when I get with my command staff and work with the board, we know who the property owners are next year. If they plan on doing this, we can make contingency plans so we don't have a repeat.
And you answered part of my next question. Some of the calls were that businesses were set up on their own property, and I without calling names, I'll kind of demonstrate or explain what was told to me. It was a outside, can I say, cook where she was going to sell or he was going to sell food on their own private business property. And they were told that they had to shut it down. The crowd wasn't there. So what is the answer for that? Do you just shut everything down because you have too many people?
Normally, if we do that, we close everything down and clear everybody out. That's normally the protocol.
So,
Now, they can reopen once the area clears,
okay, that was my next
but then there's nobody around, so normally they wouldn't. It's like the nightclub that's there. They had an event going on, there were people inside, and that event carried on. They did not close the nightclub down because they were contained, they were already inside. So Encore, I believe, was the one that was there, so that wasn't an issue. But the food trucks, they were in the middle of everything. That's why they had to close them down to move everybody out.
So when you say let you know in advance, what are the steps? Is it permitting? What are the steps?
Well, it all depends on what they're doing. If it's on their property and they can do it on the property legally, just like the Animatics Board, we contacted them, we sat down and put together an ops plan. Here's what we're gonna do so that the property owners know and they can take the appropriate steps. We can post that on our social media like we did the last time. After the Animatics event, this event is planned, here's how the traffic's gonna be controlled. Without getting details, I don't wanna give you a hypothetical because I'm not sure what they plan on doing, so I can't do it. But we would, like with every citizen, we would work with them.
And I am in hopes that there will be a post meeting with Animatox.
I was actually planning on doing that and sending them a letter thanking them for the cooperation that they've shown this year. They really went out of their way to make sure it was a safe event, and I appreciate that.
Councilman Garner.
Thank you, Chief. Obviously, you guys have a job to do, and in a situation with that many people, it's undoubtedly incredibly complicated. Like you said, it sounds like everything at the park went really well this year, coordinating together. It does sound like there was at least a somewhat loosely planned moving of the situation to an area in which you guys weren't involved, in which maybe roads were not blocked off. It wasn't prepared ahead of time to deal with that amount of people, and you guys ended up having to do what you felt was the right thing to do in that moment. I don't ever want to see citizens of Lake City getting hit with pepper spray or anything else, and obviously I'm sure you don't either. So if that's, and furthermore, I love the idea that businesses downtown are going to be a part of the event in the future. If they are indeed going to be a part of the event in the future, I would hope that the outcome, the upshot of all of this year, is that it lets us not get farther apart but closer together. If the folks that are listening and paying attention who are going to be part of the organizing of that event next year, I would urge you to reach out to the city. I would urge you to come up with an action plan just like we did at the park. I know that we've had events in the past where we've shut down streets, we've been able to put up barricades and make areas that are, because obviously sometimes, it's only so much space, you might find yourself standing in the street, but we can do some coordinating there. I think in the future that might make that sort of thing more likely, because I love the idea of those streets being full of people and the businesses there being able to have probably the most customers they'll have all year, one night, so that's very good. So I would urge the folks that are involved in the organization of that event to reach out to us and at the city, reach out to the PD, and hopefully we can get that part of the event, if that part of the event's going to be a thing in the future, and have it as safely coordinated as the park now is. I hate to the citizens that experienced that last night. I hate that happened. I would ask you, I would ask everyone involved in it to have grace for each other, and hopefully we can find a way to do this better next time. But absolutely, as the gentleman left, we've got a lot of folks here very passionate tonight about a lot of things, but I can't speak for everyone here, but I absolutely care about this stuff, and I'm trying to listen and give everyone the respect they deserve. I think, we're also growing, we're getting busy. This event seems like it was bigger than last year, and last year might have been the biggest one yet. Some of this stuff is growing pains. It doesn't sound nice to call it that, but I think that we can work together and make it better. And I really, really encourage everyone involved to do so. So, thank you, Chief, for everyone who experienced not so pleasantness. I'm sorry that the event got how it got, but I hope that we can do it better next time.
Councilwoman Harris.
Chief, I have a question. Do you know who called the towing company? Or did you all have a towing company on hand? So,
We have a rotational list of the local wreckers.
but
So
do somebody have to call them, say if a car was in a place that it shouldn't be? Do somebody have to call them to come say, hey, this car is in a place that it should be in? How is the towing company notified to come?
Okay, if it's a police officer that needs it towed, we contact central dispatch at the county. They have our rotation list. They call that wrecker. The wrecker responds out, the officer's there, and they tow the vehicle. If it's a citizen on private property, either the owner of the car, if it's disabled, has to call and they come get it, or the owner of the property or their representative can call the towing company to remove the vehicle from their property. If it's on private property, we normally don't tow it. Unless it was an accident or used in a crime, we don't tow it.
What is the protocol if an incident is happening in the city with the like city department? Who should the citizens be reaching out to?
Is what kind of incident?
Say, for instance, somebody calling to complain about the sheriff department.
Well, the sheriff's department, you'd have to call over to the sheriff, and he would get
so
his.
So if it's the sheriff department that is the problem, they should reach out to the
sheriff
department. And if it is the police department, who should they reach out to?
Either myself or my Office of Professional Standards, my internal affairs unit.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief.
I want to say this too, and let me be very clear. If you call my phone and you speak to me in a negative tone, at the end of the day, I am still human. You would not handle me any kind of way on the phone. It doesn't matter if I'm sitting up here or if I'm sitting anywhere. You would not talk to me in a certain kind of way. So let's be clear about that. Let's talk about the Humane Society. I want you all to know that we are definitely looking into that. We hear what you're saying. We understand things are being done as we speak. Things are being done. So we do hear you and we do care. We not only care about the Humane Society, we care about the workers. We also care about everything that's going on in Lake City.
Councilman Jernigan.
Hey, Chief.
Sir.
Hey, I just want to let you know y'all got a difficult job. At a moment's notice, you have to call it, to make a call. And sometimes it's very, very untasteful. I can tell you that for sure. It's very, very untasteful. Also, I rode through the park, and I went down Center Street, come down Patterson, come down Center, and you did have some officers out there. They looked very professional, had the streets blocked off, and I spoke to several people. Of course, you got to know that I was raised up in that area there, and I always went to the park. Always went to the park, especially on Easter Sunday. And just keep in mind, I'm way over 60 years old. You know what I mean? So my kids went to that park, and the job that y'all have is very, very difficult at times. Just want to let you know how your officers act at the park. Very professional. They was keeping it real. I didn't see some of that other stuff that went on with the other department, but I left there, went around, come down by Fairview, and then went on up MLK to see where the crowd was going to basically gather down the MLK. I think they were selling like lemonade and all of that kind of stuff. Had kids out there. It was a very good event during the day. So what happened that night to get? Let me make it clear. Pepper ball and tear gas is two different things. Okay, a lot of people don't understand that. When they see a pepper ball, they think that it's gas, but it's really not. It's like smoke. You're trying to get people out of the way. The only thing I didn't understand is when a business is trying to run a business and they're losing customers. Now, I love the fact that you clarified that. You have to just burst everybody, and then they open up the business. By that time, the business is basically going down. But I think y'all did a really good job that night.
Thank you.
With what you had to work with, I think you did a really good job. So I just want to let you know how much I appreciate that. And if my understanding, somebody got shot on Jefferson, that's not too far from there. But that didn't have nothing to do with Hannah Maddox Park. It had nothing to do with downtown.
Not as far as we know.
So I just want to make sure people understand that. And I do care about the citizens of Lake City. That's important. But I also care about those businesses. When a person has a business, I want that business to excel. So I just want to let you know my thoughts and what I wasn't there. Again, I have to look at footage. You know, I don't get into your officer's job and what they got going on. But I really want to appreciate you guys for taking care of Hannah Maddox Park. That was important.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. Vice Mayor Young.
This will be my last, I believe. One thing, Chief, that I kind of look at, because I know I asked you the question before, do you all kind of check things on Facebook to see what's going on in the community? And I know at some point, some law enforcement would have seen these posts about the businesses, this event carried over to the other side. And being that a lot of people are not familiar that there's a procedure or protocol that you go through, like letting you all know. So I would like to see, or like to have seen, and I know that it's over now, but in the future, that if we see something like this on Facebook, it wouldn't hurt to reach out to them. We know our business owners, and we reach out to them. I hear you're having a festivities, and can we talk about it? What are your plans? Let's do an organized event. And with that being said, and these businesses lost these funds, I would like to see them allowed to organize an event and retrieve these funds that they lost. It would not hurt. If it's organized, then it's great. So I would like for us to consider that. Let's talk to these businesses, give them an opportunity to have them an event to bring and this will bring the funds in. That's my thoughts on that. Thank you.
The one last open thing. We're going to take a recess here in just a minute, but in terms of the animal shelter, we did have a lot of folks come out and speak to that as well. We appreciate you for caring about your community. This room is obviously full because there are issues in this community, and you guys care about all of them. We appreciate that you guys are out here, that you are speaking to the council about the issues that you are seeing in your community. It's the only way that we get to work on them and make them better. We will, I think, consider a workshop in the future. That was a request where we can go over a performance of that contract. Does that sound good to the council? Yes, sir.
I think it would be appropriate to at least do a little bit of a briefing with the chief on where we're at with the Humane Society's current contract, what we're looking at doing with the things. Obviously, several months ago, I brought up there were significant issues, and it's just kind of been snowballing since then. But we've got a contract that'll be up this year. I think if the chief could just give us a basic brief and everybody else on where we're at with it at the moment.
Please, Chief.
About 2 months ago, the city manager asked the police department to sort of be the point of contact for animal control. I'm talking the animal control agreement. I went over the city ordinance. There are some issues that I identified as the chief. And I sat down with the director for the Humane Society about the issues with non-compliance with the agreement. We pulled our records and found how many times we had called and we got no response. Citizens complained that they were making phone calls and they weren't getting a response from the Humane Society. And then also when it took an exceptional amount of time, they wouldn't come out for strays. So there were other issues. I went over the agreement, and I have it back at my desk. I didn't bring it up with me. But some of the bigger issues that I identified was right now they've got 3 different priority responses. Priority 1, which is when the police department calls or the fire department calls, they have up to an hour to respond in their business hours by the contractor, 10 to 5, Monday through Friday. I believe it should be a 30-minute response. If we have a vicious dog or an issue where we need them right away, you can get anywhere in this city in 15 minutes. And business hours are 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, not 10 to 5. They should have 2 ACOs, animal control officers, that are licensed, that are on staff all the time within the 1 hour after hours response time. So if a citizen calls at night and says there's a vicious dog in my yard, it's not going to be wait till tomorrow. It's going to be they have 1 hour to respond. And then the priority 3, I agreed with the director, we should do away with priority 3 response, which is basically whenever they can get there, they can get there. That's not acceptable. As far as the animal control officers, what we want to do with that is I believe they should all have to go through our level 2 background check through the police department. If we're going to be calling them to go into people's houses and yards for animals, I need to know they don't have a criminal record. And this way, if we do the background check, if they do get arrested, we get notified. And then also, we will issue police department issued ID cards to the ACOs. 2 things. There's a standard ID card that every citizen will know. Plus, we'll have photo and name and address of the individual so the officers know who the ACOs are, and we coordinate. Animal control has agreed they're going to be sending a monthly report to the police department, which will explain every time they went out under animal control. Police department, fire department, or a citizen, what the reason was and their response times. So we'll be able to better gauge. We'll get that by the 10th of every month. I will include that in my monthly report to the city manager. That'll include the previous month and year-to-date numbers. That way, when the report comes out through the city manager, council and everybody else be able to actually see the real numbers. We'll go through with that. We have not received a financial report from under animal control. The contract requires, I believe, it's 150 days after the first of the year in order to do, according to the finance director. We have never received that. The director stated she is putting one together, and we should have the financials for the last year soon. Once I get that, I will turn that over to the finance director and the city attorney and the city manager. There's a couple of other small issues in the agreement, what I'd like to see modified. Everybody here has a copy of what my recommendations are, so when we redo the contract at September 30th, I believe is when it expires, that we can modify the contract to make whoever the vendor is, whether it's Humane Society or somebody else, more responsive to the needs of the city.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chief. I would like to, this issue, it matters quite a lot to me. I would like us to have a workshop on it as soon as we can. I know we've already begun the process at a staff level, looking over the ordinances, how they're written, what may be changeable. I'd like us to discuss together the changes that the chief wants to make to the contract, if indeed this contract moves forward, and everything in between. This is, if I understand it correctly, for I think well over 20 years, the Lake City Animal Shelter and what is now the Lake City Humane Society has provided this service for us. I think over the course of multiple decades, lots of different leadership. I'm not necessarily interested in throwing the baby out with the bathwater if we can come to terms that are acceptable. I think one thing that's important for folks that do not know is that the Humane Society is a separate organization. So we don't have the power to remove or add board members. That's not something that we can do. We don't have the power to hire or fire directors. I would encourage the board members that are here or anyone that's listening at home to listen, pay attention to the folks that have something to say. And I think there's been some interesting stuff already out there worth listening to. So I'd like to have a workshop as soon as we can on that, and well ahead of when the contract is up. We need to know if we're going to pursue continuing the contract, if we're going to pursue request for proposal on the service, because at the end of the day, there's two different things going on here. Animal care is one thing. I don't necessarily know that we have a animal care focused mandate here at the council, but we do have a nuisance animal mandate, and I think that if the organization that is servicing the contract to do the collecting of nuisance animals that may be a danger to Lake City citizens is going to do it, they need to have the facilities and the ability to do that contract and to do what they're paid to do. There have been issues in the past. If I understand it correctly, since I made a big fuss a few months ago, they have gotten better as far as response times and things like that, and that is good. That's promising.
Except for the financials currently, since that council meeting, they have been complying with the current agreement, except for the financials.
And hopefully we see that soon, because absolutely the money that we're spending, I want to make sure is being spent on what it needs to be spent on to service the contract for us. And then there's a whole other issue with the animal, with this issue. And obviously we can't legislate morality. We can't make people not buy pets they don't need or don't want, and I can't make people stop surrendering them. There's only so much you can do about the breeding and how it's done incorrectly, or especially we're one city council. This is a problem everywhere. But spay and neuter programs and things like that have been proven to lower the amount of nuisance animals and strays and things like that. So in addition to that workshop and what staff may be looking into to bring to us in the future, I would be interested in seeing the efficacy of us developing some sort of spay and neuter voucher program in which we could at least assist in the, if not the total, I don't know exactly what it costs, and I don't know the feasibility of that, but something to help to encourage folks to do that, because that is something that has been proven to at least somewhat mitigate this problem.
The one thing I like to add, one of my recommendations, and I also spoke with the director, I like to see the animal control officers actively patrol the city looking for strays, not just waiting for citizens, or, if they do get a call of a couple of stray dogs or something, they don't go up there, just look and then go back, and they never go up there again. And part of their monthly report will be where they are and how long they spend in the areas patrolling, looking for strays. So that was something else I've recommended to the director that I think is very important.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
If we have a consensus on the board for that workshop, is that correct? Okay. Audrey, the city clerk and city manager, if you guys will work together to schedule that here in the next month or so. All right. We're going to adjourn for a quick recess, 5 minutes. Welcome back to the regular session city council meeting from April 6, 2026. We have gone through public participation, which brings us now to item number 9, which is our second round of presentation from this evening, and something that I'm pretty excited about. So something very positive we're going to talk about, and I'll invite Mr. Trent Coggins to the podium.
Good evening. I spoke to well, try to get used to that for a second. I talk pretty loud as it is. I talked to the county commissioners last week, and I told them that I was there to talk about the worst kept secret in Lake City. I think there, with the introduction tonight, there's no doubt that people in Lake City are very excited about what we're trying to bring to Lake City. My name's Trent Coggins. I own Recoil Trampoline Park in Valdosta, Georgia. Recently had the opportunity to meet with a city manager, and he invited me to come talk to you tonight, tell you a little bit about Recoil Trampoline Park, what we're all about, and what we're trying to bring here to Lake City. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how this. That's the pointer. Maybe talk to you a little bit about the beginnings of Recoil Trampoline Park. I'm the father of 4 boys in Valdosta, Georgia. There was nothing literally to do in our town. My wife tries her best to keep those 4 boys busy with things, and she's very famous for her day trips. She wakes me up on a Saturday morning and says, "Get up, we're going to a trampoline park to get so the boys can have something to do." I said, "What in the heck is a trampoline park?" I'd never heard of it. Immediately upon seeing it, we had to drive a significant distance to go to a trampoline park. Immediately upon seeing it, I said the famous words that most entrepreneurs say, "My town needs something like this." And so I started immediately making phone calls the next Monday. All I knew about at that time was that trampoline parks were franchises. And the results that I received from those phone calls were very disappointing. Valdosta didn't fit the box. We didn't have the right certain amount of population, or we didn't have the right number of school children, or whatever the case may be. I received 3 no phone calls pretty immediately. So I started doing a little research and seeing if things like trampoline parks would actually work in my city. And ironically, kind of discovered that I thought it would. So I built my own. And we started, Recoil Trampoline Park was opened in September of 2019, right before COVID. So we opened a full-fledged trampoline park, wildly popular. I believe several of you have already been there. If not, I know a lot of your citizens drive up from Lake City to Valdosta. But everything that you would expect to see, we have dodgeball, just main courts. I think there's 90 different trampolines inside of a Recoil Trampoline Park. We had a little setback there with COVID, but we immediately knew that we needed to offer our customers something a little bit more. They loved the trampolines, but they were asking for more activity. So in kind of hard to read there, but our phase 2 happened in 2021, where we have a laser tag facility. It's a one-of-a-kind laser tag. You guys probably are familiar, Valdosta has Moody Air Force Base. So our laser tag is kind of an homage to Moody Air Force Base. We have a fully interactive A-10 hanging in our arena. You can shoot at that arena, or at that A-10, it will shoot back. We have an H-860. You guys may have heard about the A-10 and the H-860 both being involved in the rescue that occurred on Easter Sunday. But that's a one-of-a-kind laser tag that we have in Recoil. We added in 2023 a 5D experience. Your children probably at home have 3D goggles. My problem in my business is I have to get them off the couch. I have to offer them something more than they can get off of Amazon. So rather than 3D, we have a 5D game. It's the typical 3D, but the floor moves, which gives you the fourth dimension, and then you have weather elements. You can see the young girl's hair is blowing right there. The wind blows, there's heat, all sorts of different things. It is a wonderful 5D experience. We added an arcade in 2023. We have the largest arcade in South Georgia. We have the brand new games that you would expect to play, and then the good old skee ball and basketball that we all grew up with playing as well. Pretty excited about this. Recoil Racing opened last summer to rave reviews. We brought mini go-karts indoors and kind of show you a little bit. It's a Fast and Furious type of theme that we have. So you're racing through the city. Let's see if I can get this thing to play here. Well, I don't know how to make it play. I had a little video there. Yeah, there you go. Click that one right there on the left-hand side. I don't know who's doing that for me.
I don't think it's going to work. I think it's just a picture.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Unfortunately.
We put a video out that we were doing go-karts in Valdosta, Georgia. It had 640,000 views. So it immediately went viral. It has been a lot of fun. And then we just added something. We added our outdoor facility. First time we went outdoors. I know I can get people to play indoors. It's hot in South Georgia and North Florida. I'm hoping they're going to continue to play outside. But we opened climbing walls. We have 8 different climbing walls. You can see on the right-hand side a ropes course. And I think the dads may be just as excited as the kids are about the construction zone. We have working, they don't roll, but they go side to side and dig and all that kind of stuff. Excavators, grapples, cranes, all sorts of things where you can do the construction zone outside. Tell you a little bit about the accolades of Recoil Trampoline Park. We've been voted as the best party place for 7 straight years by Valdosta Daily Times. We have over 1,000 birthday parties every year. Leading business of the year with Valdosta Chamber of Commerce. And then I don't know why I like this stat, but I like to point it out. We sell a lot of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola says that we have 4 of the top 10 vending machines in all of South Georgia. I don't know if that means that we've got a lot of people coming or they're thirsty or both, but we do sell a lot of Coke and they like us as well. Some of the things that we have we have in Valdosta, we have a payroll of about $420,000, 53 employees. Now, I will grant you most of our employees are from the 16 to 21 year age. So we're not talking our highest level paying jobs, but if you look at the stats, that category has the highest level of unemployment throughout the United States. We hire your sons and daughters. I had a father recently tell me that when I hired his daughter, it was like he had received a raise. He no longer had to buy the prom dresses. He no longer had to pay for the gasoline. And so it was almost as if we gave him a raise. $146,000 per year in sales tax revenue. A program that I am very proud of is our Manager to MBA program. Most of our managers are recent college grads. I practiced law for 30 years or 20 years. I have 4 degrees myself. I'm educated far beyond my intelligence, but my MBA is my most valuable degree. So I decided to put it in use. We actually pay for our managers to extend their education and get a master's in business. Down there, right-hand corner, is my current general manager Devin, at Recoil. He just graduated with his MBA, our 4th person that we put through that program. We will bring that program to Lake City as well. Some of the other things, tourism, I did not realize what a big tourism draw that we actually are. I'm affiliated with Valdosta State University. We talked about their MBA program. One of the last classes that you have to take in that program is called a capstone class, where you evaluate a business and advise them on what impact that they have, what things they can do better. Couple of things that they found in looking at our number: 44.6% of our patrons came from inside of Lowndes County. That means that 40% of them came from non-verified Lowndes County. Another 7,400 and some odd patrons, we really don't know where they didn't give us an address. So 40% come from outside of our county. I know that's true. I see you there all the time. So it was really an eye-opening experience for me to see this. National drive time is about 20 to 25 minutes. We're in the 40 to 45 minute range, so people are coming from outside of town to see us. The main thing that this program showed us, and I believe you have a copy of it, is the economic impact to Lowndes County and the city of Valdosta from Recool Trampoline Park was $7.3 million every year. Wow. So a very big impact. We don't offer food, but one of the things that we found, 52.3% of our patrons either eat before coming to Recool or after. So they're spending extra dollars outside of our business in the city, 18.4% obviously getting gas. And I was extremely surprised that 10% spent the night and actually spent more time in the city of Valdosta, spent extra dollars. So that is my presentation. Now I wanted to talk to you. Mr. Don invited me here. The county has offered some tax incentives, and I'm here to see what the council's temperature is as far as tax incentives as well.
If I may, Mayor, that's not exactly how it works.
Okay.
What we're going to do is, Mayor, is that I'm going to talk to him, coordinate with the county, get the attorney on board, and we're going to try to emulate the package that the county gave him. We'll bring that back to you for review.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal. I have questions.
Yes, sir.
Where are you located?
In Valdosta?
No, here, or where are you going?
Okay, we're going to be on Southwest Real Terrace.
Okay, Southwest Real Terrace, which is the property off 247, right behind the car wash there?
Correct.
Okay.
Just to the north of the car wash.
So the purpose of the presentation for the folks at home and the folks in the room is that you are building in Lake City.
Absolutely.
You're bringing this business model to Lake City. We hear on this council, and I think in general a lot in Lake City, that there's nothing for kids to do. There's nothing for families to do. So that's why I'm excited about this project, because it is something for families to do. What is your timeline?
12 to 18 months.
18 months? Okay.
So we're actually a little ahead of schedule. You can see if you go down that road, we've already cleared the land, started building the pad, stormwater infrastructure, all that kind of stuff. So I'm ahead of schedule. I want to overpromise and I want to, you know what I mean. Underpromise and overproduce. There we go. I would hope that we could be done in 12 months. That 12 months gets me open in time for the summer season. So our busy season at Recool in Valdosta starts the day after Christmas. December 26th is what I call the first day of the year. And we go crazy until Sunday, which was the end of our spring break. We have a little bit of break from the end of spring break to when school gets out, and then we have crazy summers. We do summer camps, all sorts of stuff. So,
another thing that I'd like to say, and then I'll turn it over to council, is I think that you join a lot of entrepreneurs have heard from our citizens that they need stuff for kids to do. And I appreciate you pointing out the fact that you called for Valdosta first to see what the national chains would say, because they say a very similar thing to what they say here. And they invest their time in looking to see what traffic patterns we have here in our community, probably very similar to Valdosta. But I think that you join a good group of people who have opened up family entertainment businesses here, 2 arcades, an outdoor skating rink,
Right.
and some other things here. And I'm excited to see Lake City take a turn along with our renovation of the parks in helping families have fun together, spend time together. So that's
So I see Lake City's very similar to Valdosta. I mean, if you look at just the county, population's a little bit smaller, but you have larger surrounding counties, whereas we don't. So I've already proven that people will drive to me. So that's what makes Lake City attractive to us, is that we think your surrounding counties are going to come, and I didn't mean to do that.
For any National Scout that's listening, we have about 320,000 people within a 30-minute drive, and our town is a magnet for those 320,000 people from all 5-6 counties around us. They come to Lake City, so it's a good place to locate your business, good place to do all that stuff. Mr. Jernigan, I see that you have a question.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I'm finished. I'm done.
Oh, you're finished?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You said the age limit is 14 to...
Well, all right. So the age that people come to us, our bread and butter is between 4 and 14. That's where most people are going to be our customers, but we're really cradle to grave. People call me all the time and say, how old do you have to be? Well, if you can jump, you can have fun. Now, that's wonderful on the low end of the spectrum. You and I probably need to be careful about that. Our knees are not the same as it used to be.
You're absolutely right.
Yes.
Yes, I just thought I heard something about 14 to 16 or something like that, and I was wondering about the elementary schools and.
Absolutely. We are right. This is our busy season for schools visiting. We will have school field trips all of the time. But yeah, the younger kids up to the middle school is really what we're attracted, or they're attracted to us. Doesn't mean that a 18-year-old can't come and have fun. It doesn't mean that our age. I no longer jump, but I will play laser tag. I will play some of these other games as well.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir.
Councilman Carter, you had something?
Yes, sir. I don't like to talk a lot, so.
All right.
Mr. Coggins, I just tell you, I really appreciate your enthusiasm.
Thank you.
We are right for this sort of thing, and I think it will be a success. I'm sure that we'll be able to come up with something that can help you guys get going.
Well, I appreciate it.
And I'm very much looking forward to the ninja obstacle.
Vice Mayor Young?
I'm excited, and yes, I can still jump. So what?
We'll make you sign a waiver first, but that's a totally different story.
So what will be your hours?
All right, so probably emulate what we're doing in Valdosta right now. We're closed on Mondays. Tuesday through Thursday, we open at 11 to 8 a.m., even though those are not our busiest hours. I want to stay open because I think it gives something for the toddler mom to do, the homeschool mom to do. So we're still open during those hours. Our peak hours, of course, are the weekends. We open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Fridays, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturdays, and then 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Sundays.
And do you reserve for like birth parties?
Yep.
I think I heard you say that
Yep.
earlier.
So we'll have a website, and you can go to our website right now and see everything that's out there. You can actually make reservations online, but you could actually build your party. We have a couple different add-ons that you could do, whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to just have a laser tag party for a boy. Maybe you want to have a trampoline party for a girl, whatever the case may be. You can pick and choose add-ons for arcade, add-ons for climbing, whatever the case may be. Yes, ma'am.
So what is the capacity for the entire?
We're going to be in a 30,000 square foot building here. I think based on parking, we'll be somewhere around the 340 range. Get a little confirmation from the engineer in the back of the room, but I think those two numbers are tied together. But yeah, it's a 30,000 square foot building. I didn't mention earlier, $3.5 million investment in Lake City. That's a lot of trampolines. So we're in 42,000 square feet in Valdosta. I designed this building myself by going through it and saying, okay, where can we maximize space? And so we're going to have pretty much the exact same things that we have in Valdosta in Lake City, without, with less square footage. So I'm excited about that.
It's very exciting. Any other questions?
I like trampoline park.
Thank you, Mr. Coggins, for
Thank you for
presenting
your
to us
time.
tonight. We appreciate you. All right. Up next, we have our non-quasi judicial hearing, and we'll start with our first reading in item number 10, City Council Ordinance number 2026-2367. Mr. Martin, I'll turn this over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members, you have before you on first reading ordinance number 2026-2367, an ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, pursuant to petition ANX 2603 submitted by Elizabeth Steele, relating to voluntary annexation, annexing certain real property located in Columbia County, Florida, which is reasonably compact and contiguous to the boundaries of the City of Lake City, Florida, into the boundaries of the City of Lake City, Florida, making certain findings of fact in support thereof, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing an effective date. Mr. Angelo?
All right, so this is ordinance number 2026-2367. This is for annexation 2603. It's for parcel number 02440-003. As you can see here on the screen, the square there highlighted in orange is a proposed site. It is on Turner Avenue next to the plantations, and they're looking to annex into the city and then rezone and then possibly build a mini storage facility there. And so that's why we're bringing it to you now, to get the annexation done. But other than that, that's it.
All right. Is there anyone here on behalf of the applicant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Certainly, if you'd like to come forward and speak as the applicant.
Pardon me, I feel a little underwhelmed after the last presentation. The wife and I were medical professionals. We retired and moved from New England almost 3 years ago. And we got here and we found that we weren't quite ready to retire. So we looked at a number of options. Some businesses didn't work well with this, but our hope is we've got the square footage squared away. We've spoken with local engineers. We have a pretty good plan. We're about ready to go for the mini storage. It looks like about 63 units, 9,600 square foot of concrete. It keeps us under the, we don't need a pond or retention system. And it seems to be, and I think it's a Florida thing because there's no basements, that mini storage seems to really be a need. Positives to the community, obviously. Revenue, we're probably looking at a small employment force, 3, 4. And should this one work, the goal was probably to add a few more. We're going to use this as our building template.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Mr. Mayor, I'll turn it back over to you for public comment. Any council questions or comments and a vote?
Thank you, Mr. Martin. We don't have any public comment signed up for this item, so we'll go straight into council questions, comments. Mr. Carter, you have something?
Sure. Thank you guys for moving to our community. Thank you for annexing into our municipality, and thank you for opening a business. 2 and 3 jobs is still jobs. Appreciate it.
Yeah, welcome to town. Welcome to town indeed. Anybody else? All right, Mr. Martin.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve City Council Ordinance 2026-2367.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you both. Do we have any further comments, questions? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right. Moving on to the final reading of number 11, City Council Ordinance number 2026-2353. Mr. Martin, please take this away.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next 6 items are going to be a combination of quasi-judicial and non-quasi-judicial matters. 3 of them will be quasi-judicial in nature. Those are items 12, 14, and 16. Item 12 is an ordinance number 2026-2354 on second reading, which is amending the official zoning atlas by application from Lake City 47 LLC. Item 14 is ordinance 2026-2363 on second reading, which is amendment to the zoning atlas pursuant to application filed by Daniel Krapps as agent for C&W Land Trust. And then item 16 is ordinance number 2025-2365 on second reading, and ordinance amending the official zoning atlas which is submitted by Brian Pittman as agent for East Park LLC. The purpose of the procedure for the three quasi-judicial matters is to ensure, of course, that an applicant provides a complete presentation of the request to the council. For those three matters, we'll hear presentations from the city, then the applicant, any party interveners, followed by public comment from individuals and group representatives, then cross-examination by the parties and interveners, followed by any additional response if the mayor allows it. City council would then ask any questions. There would be any final arguments from any of the parties or an intervener should they wish to offer it. I'll then advise the council as to the law and necessary findings, and the council can deliberate and vote. The decision of the council on the three quasi-judicial matters needs to be based on competent substantial evidence that is in the record. Competent substantial evidence is evidence a reasonable mind would accept as adequate to support a conclusion. At this time on the three matters, I need to inquire of each council member individually if they've had any ex parte communications regarding these matters, and if so, to disclose them. I'll start at the end of the dais with Ms. Young. Have you had any ex parte communications?
I have not.
Thank you. Mr. Carter?
Nope.
Mr. Jernigan?
No, sir.
Ms. Harris?
No.
And Mr. Walker?
No.
All right, thank you. At this time, on these three matters, if there's anyone that's going to offer testimony, if you could stand and raise your right hand to take an oath. Do each of you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, I do. All right, thank you. The first matter before the council is item 11. This is proposed ordinance 2026-2353 on final reading. This item is a proposed change to the city's future land use map. It's legislative rather than quasi-judicial in nature. If the city council votes to adopt this item, then the next item the council will consider is the related rezoning. The title of this ordinance reads as follows: an ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending the future land use plan map of the City of Lake City Comprehensive Plan as amended, relating to an amendment of 50 or less acres of land pursuant to an application CPA 2601S by Justin Tabor, Senior Planner from North Florida Professional Services, as agent for Lake City 47 LLC, a Florida limited liability company, and Pam Stewart and Scott D. Stewart, the property owners of said acreage, under the amendment procedures established in sections 163.3161 through 163.3248 Florida statutes as amended, providing for changing the future land use classification from county highway interchange to city commercial of certain lands within the corporate limits of the City of Lake City, Florida, making certain findings of fact in support thereof, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing an effective date. Mr. Angelo, could you please present the matter to the council?
Yes. All right, Mr. Mayor and City Council, this is ordinance number 2026-2353, final reading of it. This is for parcel numbers 08881-000 and parcel number 08891-000, which were previously annexed into the city at the previous meeting on March 16th. They are looking to change the future land use from commercial county and highway interchange county to commercial city. And that's it for today.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Angelo. Is there anyone on behalf of the applicant that would like to add anything to Mr. Angelo's presentation?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, my name is Justin Tabor, Senior Planner with North Florida Professional Services. I don't have a presentation for you this evening, and in the interest of your time, I'll forego any details, but I'm happy to answer any questions. The owner is here this evening, and he may want to address you as well, but I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the applications.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tabor. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak on this item on behalf of the applicant? Mr. Stewart?
Scott Stewart, I just thought I'd give you a little update. Things are progressing great down there, Highway 47. We're doing a lot of the infrastructure work. The stormwater's going in, the lift station's being worked on. I've had some great correspondence again today with a final contract for a big green box type of a tenant. So we have the final contract ready to be signed with them. It's not signed, but I anticipate it should be. So all those details have been worked out with them. So we're very excited about that. But moving ahead with all the processes, do you have any questions for me of any kind?
Any questions? No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, we appreciate your help on the project.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Mr. Mayor, I'll turn it over to you for any additional public comment, followed by council comments, a motion, and a vote on the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. We don't have anybody signed up for public comment on this one, so we will move to dais questions, comments, or I'll entertain a motion to approve City Council Ordinance number 2026-2353 on final reading.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance 2026-2353.
Second.
Thank you both for a motion and a second. Do I have any final questions, comments? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Harris? Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right, moving on to item number 12.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 12 is ordinance 2026-2354. This is a quasi-judicial matter on final reading. The title of the ordinance states an ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending the official zoning atlas of the City of Lake City development regulations as amended relating to the rezoning of 10 or more contiguous acres of land pursuant to an application Z2601L by Justin Tabor, Senior Planner for North Florida Professional Service Inc. as agent for Lake City 47 LLC, a Florida limited liability company, and Pam Stewart and Scott D. Stewart, the property owners of said acreage, providing for rezoning from county commercial intensive and county commercial highway interchange to city commercial highway interchange of certain lands within the corporate limits of the City of Lake City, Florida, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing an effective date. Mr. Angelo, could you please introduce, summarize, and present proposed ordinance 2026-2354?
Yes. All right, so this is ordinance number 2026-2354. This was previously heard on March 16th, so therefore I'd like to adopt my presentation and all the records from that meeting and introduce them into the record.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Angelo. Is there anyone here on behalf of the applicant?
Again, Mr. Mayor, Justin Tabor with North Florida Professional Services. Happy to answer any questions you might have about this application.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Tabor. Anyone else on behalf of the applicant? Okay. Is there any public comment on the matter? Seeing no public comment, the parties, I'm assuming, are waiving cross-examination. If you're waiving cross-examination at this time, are there any questions from the council for any of the participants?
I don't believe so, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Seeing none, are the parties waiving their closing comments? I see nods yes. Given that, the decision of the council should be based only on the evidence provided by sworn witnesses. In addition, the council shall take into consideration the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Board in those matters listed in Section 15.2.2 of the city's land development regulations. At this time, the council may discuss the ordinance and testimony and any findings of fact upon which you wish to base a decision and adopt proposed ordinance 2026-2354 following an appropriate motion. Second.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Do we have any final questions, comments, or would anybody like to make a motion to adopt City Council Ordinance number 2026-2354 on final reading?
Make a motion that we approve 2026-2354.
Second.
Motion and second. Thank you very much, both of you. Do we have any final comments? None. Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Young? Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. Now we're moving on to item number 13.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members, the next land use matter before you tonight is item 13 on the agenda, which is proposed ordinance 2026-2362 on final reading. This item is proposed change to the city's future land use map and is legislative rather than quasi-judicial in nature. If City Council votes to adopt this item, then the next item the council will consider is the related rezoning to the future land change for this property. The title of this ordinance reads as follows. An ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending the future land use plan map of the City of Lake City Comprehensive Plan as amended relating to an amendment of 50 or less acres of land pursuant to an application CPA 2604S by Daniel Krapps, trustee of C&W Land Trust, property owner of lots 1, 2, and 3 of the C&W Business Park subdivision, and as agent for East Park LLC, a Florida limited liability company, property owner of lot 7 of the C&W Business Park subdivision. Premier Investments LLC, a Florida limited liability company, property owner of lot 6 of the C&W Business Park subdivision, and Chad Strait, property owner of lots 4 and 5 of the C&W Business Park subdivision, the property owners of said acreage under the amendment procedures established in sections 163.3161 through 163.3248 Florida statutes as amended, providing for changing the future land use classification from county residential medium high density and county commercial to city commercial of certain lands within the corporate limits of the City of Lake City, Florida, making findings of fact in support thereof, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing an effective date. Mr. Angelo, could you please present the matter to the council?
Yes, this is ordinance number 2026-2362. It is for parcels number 02712-101 through 107. And they are looking to change the future land use from commercial intensive county and residential medium high county into commercial intensive city. And at this time, I have no further comments.
All right, thank you, Mr. Angelo. Is there anyone on behalf of the applicant that wishes to add anything to Mr. Angelo's presentation?
My name's Daniel Craps. I'm here to answer any questions anybody has.
All right, thank you, Mr. Craps. This time, Mr. Mayor, I'll turn it over to you to entertain any additional public comment, followed by council comments, a motion, and a vote on the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. We don't have anybody signed up for item number 13, so I will move to dais council comments, questions, or entertain a motion to adopt City Council Ordinance number 2026-2362 on final reading.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve City Council Ordinance 2026-2362.
Second.
Thank you both. Do we have any final questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right, moving on to item number 14, Mr. Martin, City Council Ordinance number 2026-2363.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members, you have before you proposed ordinance 2026-2363, a quasi-judicial hearing on final reading, which states, an ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending the official zoning atlas of the City of Lake City Land Development Regulations as amended relating to the rezone of less than 10 contiguous acres of land pursuant to an application Z2602S by Daniel Craps, trustee of C&W Land Trust, property owner of lots 1, 2, and 3 of the C&W Business Park subdivision, and is agent for East Park LLC, a Florida limited liability company, property owner of lot 7 of the C&W Business Park subdivision, Prevere Investments LLC, a Florida limited liability company, property owner of lot 6 of the C&W Business Park subdivision, and Chad Strait, property owner of lots 4 and 5 of the C&W Business Park subdivision, the property owners of said acreage, providing for rezoning from county commercial intensive and county residential multifamily 1 to city commercial intensive of certain lands within the corporate limits of the City of Lake City, Florida, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing an effective date. Mr. Angelo, could you please introduce, summarize, and present proposed ordinance 2026-2363?
Yes, so this is ordinance number 2026-2363. And at this time, again, this was heard on the March 16th meeting, and this is a final hearing. I'd like to adopt my presentation and introduce it into the record.
All right, thank you, Mr.
Thank
Angelo. Mr. Craps, did you wish to offer comments on behalf of the applicant?
Just here to answer questions anybody has.
Thank you, sir. Didn't see anybody standing up or indicating status of the party intervener. Are there any members of the public that wish to comment on this particular item? Seeing none, I think the parties are probably waiving cross-examination of each other. Mr. Mayor, are there any questions from council?
No, sir, Mr. Martin.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The parties are each waiving any final comments. Okay. This time, the decision to council should be based only on the evidence provided by sworn witnesses. In addition, the council shall take into consideration the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Board in those matters listed in section 15.2.2 of the city's land development regulations. Mr. Mayor, I'll turn it back over to you for the council to discuss the ordinance and offer a motion and vote.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. We didn't have any public comment. You pointed that out. So we're going to move straight to council questions, comments, or I'll entertain a motion to adopt City Council Ordinance number 2026-2363 on final reading.
Mayor, I'd like to approve ordinance number 2026-2363.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you both. Do we have any final comments, questions? Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right, moving on to item number 15, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 15 is ordinance number 2026-2364. On final reading, this item is a proposed change to the city's future land use map and is legislative rather than quasi-judicial in nature. If City Council votes to adopt this item, then the next item on the council agenda is item number 16 and is the related rezoning for this property. The title of this ordinance reads as follows: An ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending the future land use plan map of the City of Lake City Comprehensive Plan as amended relating to an amendment of 50 or less acres of land pursuant to an application CPA 2605S by Brian Pittman as agent for East Park LLC, a Florida limited liability company, the property owner of said acreage under the amendment procedures established in sections 163.3161 through 163.3248 Florida statutes as amended, providing for changing the future land use classification from county residential medium high density to city commercial of certain lands within the corporate limits of the city of Lake City, Florida, making findings of fact in support thereof, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing an effective date. Mr. Angelo, could you please present the matter?
Yes. So this is ordinance number 2026-2364, and is the comprehensive plan amendment. They're looking to move the future land use from residential medium high to commercial city, and it's for parcel number 02712-001, and what we hope to be the future home of the Recoil Trampoline Park.
Thank you, Mr. Angelo. Mr. Pittman or Mr. Cotton, did y'all wish to? Okay, Mr. Pittman, on behalf of the applicant.
Brian Pittman, Pittman Engineering. I'm just here for questions if you guys have any.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Mayor, I'll turn it back over to you for any public comment, followed by city council discussion, a motion, and vote.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. There's no public comment signed up for this item tonight, so we'll go straight to dais comments, questions, or I'll entertain a motion to adopt City Council Ordinance number 2026-2364 on final reading.
Mayor, I would like to approve ordinance number 2026-2364.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you both. Any final questions, comments? Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right, moving on to item number 16, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members, you have before you as a quasi-judicial matter, proposed ordinance 2026-2365 on final reading. This is the rezoning of the same property. An ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending the official zoning atlas of the City of Lake City Land Development Regulations as amended relating to the rezoning of less than 10 acres of land pursuant to an application Z2603S by Brian Pittman as agent for East Park LLC, a Florida limited liability company. The property owner is said acreage, providing for rezoning from county residential multifamily 1 to city commercial intensive of certain lands within the corporate limits of the City of Lake City, Florida, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing an effective date. Mr. Angelo, could you please introduce, summarize, and present the proposed ordinance?
Yes. This is ordinance number 2026-2365, which was previously heard on March 16th. And at this time, I would like to introduce my presentation from that meeting and adopt it from that meeting, and then introduce it all into the record. And at this time, I have no other comments.
Thank you, Mr. Angelo. Mr. Pittman, on behalf of the applicant, did you have anything to add to that? All right, Mr. Pittman is indicating no. I didn't see anyone seeking party intervener status or indicating that when we started the hearing. Are there any public comments on this matter? Seeing none. Parties are waiving cross-examination, I assume. They're indicating yes. No cross-examination. Any questions from council, Mr. Mayor?
No, sir.
All right, no questions from council. Parties are waiving final comment, I assume. Yes. Mr. Mayor, as with the others, the decision of the council should be based only on evidence presented by sworn witnesses. In addition, the council shall take into consideration the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Board in those matters listed in section 15.2.2 of the city's land development regulations. Mr. Mayor, I'll turn it back over to you for any discussion from council, a motion and a vote.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. I will now open up questions or comments from the dais or entertain a motion to adopt City Council Ordinance number 2026-2365 on final reading.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve City Council Ordinance 2026-2365.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you both. Any final questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right. Now we're moving on to item number 17. So this is old businesses, our ordinances first. We're going to open our public hearing for item 17, City Council Ordinance number 2026-2359. Mr. Martin, will you please read this by title?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members, you have before you ordinance number 2026-2359, an ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending City Code Chapter 70, Article 5, Firefighters Retirement, adding a new section 70-136 for the purpose of purchasing prior military service, adding a new section 70.137 for the purpose of purchasing prior firefighter service, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. We don't have anybody signed up for public comment on this one, so we will go to council questions, comments, or I'll entertain a motion to adopt City Council Ordinance number 2026-2359 on final reading.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to adopt City Council Ordinance number 2026-2359 on final reading.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. Thank you, Mr. Carter. Do we have any final questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right, moving on to new business, and we will go to resolutions. We don't have any ordinances. So we're on City Council Resolution number 2026-036. Mr. Martin, will you please read this by title since it has a grant?
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. You have before you resolution number 2026-036, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, authorizing the city to participate in the Florida Brownfields Redevelopment Program provided for in and authorized by the Brownfields Redevelopment Act, created under the provisions of sections 376.77 through 376.85 Florida statutes as amended, designating certain lands within the city located at 2932 North US Highway 441, Lake City, Florida, and identified as property appraisers parcel number 17-3S-17-05000-003 as a brownfield area for the purpose of environmental remediation, rehabilitation, and economic development as provided for in the Act, providing for notification to the Department of Environmental Protection of the city's decision to designate a brownfield area for rehabilitation, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. We don't have any council comments on this, so we will go straight to dais questions, comments, or if anybody would like to make a motion to adopt City Council Resolution number 2026-036 on first reading.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve City Council Resolution 2026-036.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you both. Any final questions or comments? Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Young? Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right, moving on to item number 19, City Council Resolution number 2026-040. This is a resolution of City of Lake City, Florida, to approve an application for Emergency Medical Services Program Ground Ambulance Service Provider License by the Fire Department. We don't have any public comment on this one, so we will move straight into council questions, comments.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, can we have the chief come up and explain that to us?
Absolutely.
This is a big deal. We lost someone, and I guess we picked up somebody, and the chief is going to help us out with this.
So, as you all know, fire department, we are always trying to look to better our citizens. We had some issues with the ambulance service here. The ambulance service is a contract through the county. We do not transport patients, but we do respond to medical calls along with the ambulance company. At this time, we are just BLS, which is basic life support, so we can get there and give them some oxygen if they need it. We can put a Band-Aid on them if they need it, but we can't do anything past that. We feel like our citizens deserve better than that. And with the contracted service, prior contracted service, we were waiting 30, 45 minutes on a scene without being able to do anything with that patient. So our goal is to go ALS, which is Advanced Life Support. Our paramedics, which we already have in the fire department, will be able to administer drugs. We'll have a monitor that will be able to read what their heart is doing, to tell them what drugs they need to do to give, and be able to provide a better service to our citizens while we're waiting on scene.
Y'all are the best, Chief. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I have a question real fast. This is not to provide ambulance services, but provide life-saving care until the ambulance arrives, correct?
Correct. That's just ALS licensing for one truck. So that truck has to be stickered with ALS in order to carry that equipment. So this is the application process for that.
Ms. Harris, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
You all have Narcan on hand if
We currently have Narcan. Anybody can administer Narcan, but yes. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions, comments? Yes, ma'am.
So how many certified firemen will you have for that?
So I currently have I think I have 8 paramedics right now. But we hire paramedic firefighters. You know, that's just one of the
stipends that they get. So we have enough paramedics to man that truck.
Wow. I think it's great that we're going to be providing life-saving care to our citizens. I appreciate you guys for having the gumption to jump into this. Any other questions, comments from the?
Mr. Mayor, with that being said, I'd like to adopt City Council Resolution number 2026-036.
Second. 040.
I'm sorry.
040, yeah.
2026-040.
Perfect. Thank
Second.
you. Oh, we have a motion and a second. Thank you both. Do we have any final questions or comments?
Thank you.
Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll? Oh, sorry, Mr.
I just wanted to tell you thank you before you move forward. This is a major step for our fire department. And again, we're always looking to better our fire service, and that's a major step toward bettering our citizens. So thank you.
We do have another question for
Was
you.
this your idea?
It is my idea, yes, ma'am.
Great, we hired the right guy. Great stuff, Don.
Keeps idea.
All right. Any other questions or comments? We'll vote on our motion in a second. Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right, final item for discussion and possible action. Swanee River League of Cities has asked the City of Lake City to host a meeting on Thursday, July 23rd with the president of the Florida League of Cities. The Blanche has offered the free space for this. If you looked at the report to council, and I believe that the Swanee River League of Cities will put $4,000 toward this, meaning that we only have to cover any gift baskets, which I intend to go out for sponsorship on those, yeah. So do you guys want to do that?
I say yes.
Yes.
Sound good?
Mayor, may I ask?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Sykes.
So are we going to go ahead and get the motion to host the meeting, and then can you go ahead and get a motion to authorize the $1,500 expenses for the purchase of the welcome promotional items? The promotional items are what's going to cost the money.
Sure.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to make that motion?
Make a motion that we approve the monies that's needed and necessary to make this go forward.
Okay. We
You
have a
don't want
motion.
to say amount, just what's needed?
1,500.
Okay.
Motion. We have a motion by Ms. Harris.
Second.
Second.
We have a second. Thank you both. Any final questions? Well, and now that we have a proposition, this wasn't something that people could sign up for. Does anybody from the audience want to speak to this? Okay, we'll close that. We'll close public participation, come back to the dais. Any further questions or comments on this proposition? Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll on it?
Mayor, before we do that, can I just make sure that I clarify the motion, because the report to council had asked for several different things to be included. A motion to host the meeting, hosted July 23rd, 2026, Swanee River League of Cities quarterly meeting at the Blanche. The motion also would authorize you to serve as the point of contact for the staff to coordinate with on the event details, so that we're not having to come back.
Okay.
The motion authorizes Swanee River League of Cities to reimburse the City of Lake City for hosting expenses if necessary. And what I mean by that is, she had mentioned that either she could pay vendors directly if there are any expenses, or they can always reimburse the city for that. So we needed to make sure we built that in.
Okay.
And then the motion also authorizes an amount not to exceed, as Ms. Young pointed out, $1,500 from the council expense accounts for the purchases of welcome and promotional items and door prizes for the attendees.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would you like to withdraw and change your, yes, sir?
It may not hurt to go, since we're doing it all, may not hurt to go ahead and add and authorize the mayor to sign any reservation contracts for the Blanche upon city attorney review.
Okay. Would somebody like to, would you like to?
I'd like to make a motion to approve everything.
Okay, perfect.
Carry out.
Okay, we have a.
Partner, you
I
okay with
second maintain.
A motion and a second. Thank you both. Any final discussion?
You okay, Ms. Young?
Ma'am?
Did you have something to add? I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, I was about to say, and add that the mayor you authorize the mayor to
Okay.
sign.
All right.
Okay.
Hearing, no, yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes.
Sorry about that.
All right. Now we'll move on to the final part of our meeting, which is departmental and administration and council comments. So we'll start with you, Mr. Rosenthal.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I just want to remind the council we're going to need a workshop for May, on our May 4th meeting. We need to be talking about our budget, capital projects, and GFOA, Government Finance Officers Association formatting for our budget. So that our budget is more easily understood by both the council and citizens when they look into it.
Okay, and that's May 4th you're looking?
May 4th workshop, yes.
All right.
What was the topic on that again?
That's going to be budget comprehension, I would think.
It's going to be a budget comprehension, going to be the budget itself, capital projects, and GFOA, Government Finance Officers Association formatting for our budget, so it's more easily understandable.
Perfect.
That, just, will 1 hour be enough for all that?
I think so. We're going to do a general understanding, we'll have some handouts, so you can look
This
at
won't
it.
be this won't be the actual budget.
No.
will
This is
be-
just introduction to some new concepts and ideas.
Okay.
To pretty much simplify everything, right?
It's going to make it easy. It's going to make it easy to understand, easy to follow the money. Right now, it's kind of difficult because we don't have our capital projects split out anywhere.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal. Anything further, Mr. Rosenthal?
That's it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal. Mr. Martin?
Nothing from City Attorney, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Ms. Sykes?
Nothing to add, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sykes. Vice Mayor Young?
I'm good. I want to thank each of you. I believe we had a productive meeting tonight. I just appreciate all of the comments and supporting each other, and most of all, the best decisions for the city of Lake City. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Councilman Jernigan?
As always, Chief of Police and the Chief of the Fire Department, we're first class, so we really appreciate the job you guys are doing to continue to protect our staff and protect the citizens here in Lake City. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. Mr. Carter?
Real quick, yeah, just to reiterate, I don't envy the position you guys find yourself in at the PD when it comes to trying to manage and make sure that such a large crowd is safe. Appreciate the efforts, and again, like I said earlier, I hope we can continue to grow our relationships and make sure to work well together in the future, and hopefully maybe next year nothing bad will happen. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you guys very much, and I know that's tough. I also want to say, we started talking about land use, and all of a sudden everyone leaves. You know, that stuff's exciting.
Thanks, Robert.
That stuff's. Thanks a lot, Robert. Yes, no, that stuff's exciting. But really, though, I'd like to say, I say frequently here to the camera and to everybody watching at home and to anybody who isn't watching, I kind of beg, but I ask the citizens, find things to care about. Come and see us, hang out with us, fill the room. I love it. When I walked in and I saw all these people that cared about something, it made me very happy. I want to see that all the time. I really do. Everybody might not like it, but if we're here till 8 or 9 o'clock, listen, we have 2 meetings. We should have to be here physically twice a week. I know it drives some people crazy, but this is good, and I want to see that sort of thing, and I really appreciate everybody that came out tonight and shared the things that mattered to them, and those things matter to me. And I just think I feel like we've seen that a lot more lately too. So, I'm just saying, keep it up. Find things, if we don't know, we don't know. And if something's important to you, please come and see us. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Councilwoman Harris?
I would like to say to Chief, I heard everything that was being said tonight, but in all actuality, I had no complaints about our police department as far as with the park, even downtown. I heard it was with the sheriff department, and I pray that they go to the county commissioner's office and share their concerns about that. But I want the citizens to also know that we sit behind here. It's not because of these big, great paychecks that we're getting. We sit behind here because we want to make this city better. And sometimes it takes us trying to not get so emotional about things, but it's never whereas we don't care about Lake City, because we are here because of Lake City. So please be patient and kind to us, and we promise you we're doing all we can. We have the best city manager, we have the best chief, assistant manager D in his absence. We have the best utility guy, Steve. I mean, we have a great team in Lake City. And though we have found ourselves behind the curve on so many instances, it does not mean that we're not working for the betterment of Lake City.
Thank you, Councilwoman Harris. My final comments, I'll be as brief as possible. First and foremost, happy Easter to everyone, and I hope everyone had an opportunity to really celebrate the meaning of Easter, and that our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is a risen Savior. I also want to say that citizens are extremely welcome in this room. A lot of times we are speaking to an empty room, but like Councilman Carter said, a packed room is a good room. It means that our citizens care enough to show up and tell us what issues that they're facing so that we can help move our city into a place that is good for families and businesses to grow and thrive together. And that's what we're trying to make Lake City here at this dais. I did have to remove 2 people, unfortunately, from the meeting tonight. I very much value our First Amendment right and the right to free speech. However, it's very important that we're able to have productive meetings and not scream from the back of the room, which those 2 citizens were doing. Tomorrow, there's a Special Olympics torch run that'll go right up Marion Street for all who want to participate in that. Very excited about that.
What time does it start, Mayor?
I believe that starts, the lineup is at 10 at the Methodist Church, and it'll go north from there. Parks presentation. Very excited about our parks presentation. That was supposed to happen tonight, but we had a number of directors that are learning to make this city better and more technologically friendly for citizens, for businesses, etc. But I'm very excited to see the overall concept for our parks and for a splash pad and for more things that families can do alongside a trampoline park, alongside those 2 arcades that we had open up in town, alongside that new skating arena and family atmosphere out there. So very glad for those things. And last but not least, there was 2 great Easter egg hunts that were hosted, one by Mr. Debo and State Farm, Chelsea Flores from State Farm at Memorial Stadium on Friday. It was wonderful for the kids. My daughter had a great time on the bounce houses, didn't want to leave, but there were a lot of children out there. It was a great event. A lot of Easter eggs were picked up. And then at Annie Maddox Park on Saturday, Coach Davis and I believe the Masons held that event. It was a great event. I did go out, saw children, saw Coach Davis, made sure that the shade was working out. I did have to come back to that event. Chief helped answer some questions on a dog that had been brought to that park. It was a service animal, or presented as a service animal. And so we have a good resource in our chief. I appreciate you for answering the call and helping those citizens work their way through that as well. But it was a great event. I appreciate those organizations for providing things for our children here in this community. But that's all I have to say. Again, Lake City is a place where families and businesses can grow and thrive together. And we'll see you next time.